investigasyon, nag-umpisa sa identification, nagbigay kayo ng hash value, nag-preserve kayo ng data, pagkatapos nag-research kayo. Subsequently, sinabi mo na meron kayong open source intelligence search at natuklasan ninyo na meron palang October 18 video na press con na naman ni OVP na nasa Facebook at may mga sinasabi na naman na puputulin yung ulo. Tama ba yon yung October 18 ang nakita ninyo?
That's the continuation in the analysis phase, Your Honor.
Oo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Kasi nag-research na kayo, no? Bilang fourth phase nga ng inyong investigasyon. Tama po ba?
Hindi po, Your Honor. Yun yung third phase ho, yung analysis and attribution.
Sa analysis pa at attribution. So third phase. Pero bandang huli na. Ang pinagtatakahan ko, kung inutusan kayo ng November 23 na magkaroon ng investigasyon to ABS-CBN requiring them to submit an authenticated copy of the video pertaining to the 18 October press con. Nandito to sa affidavit ninyo, nasa page 8, number 14. Kung inutusan kayo ng November 23, ang ibig ba sabihin, November 6 pa lang, minamanmanan na si Vice President? Iniimbestigahan na siya bago pa yung Zoom conference sa Kongreso?
No, Your Honor. I believe that's a typo yung date. Kasi that's a typo, Your Honor, yung date. Kasi makikita doon yung date noong appearance ng taga-ABS-CBN, which is consistent ho siya doon sa ibang initial ng
Kailan ba yung
subpoena.
appearance? Kasi hindi ko nasusundan yung timeline ninyo eh. Parang yung November 23 yung utos, pero November 6 pa lamang may subpoena na. Ba't nagkaganon?
Typo ho yan, Your Honor. Hindi ho yan November 6.
Typo na naman katulad ng Department of Justice.
No, Your Honor. If I may refer to my notes, Your Honor.
Oo, pakita mo na lang sa akin kasi nahanap ko, hindi ko masundan eh.
You may do so,
This is
Counsel.
page 6, number 14 po. November 6, 2024, subpoena to ABS-CBN.
Yung subpoena mismo. The subpoena itself. The subpoena itself.
Wala naman yatang date na binibigay tungkol sa appearance ni Patria Morales at yung iba pang
Meron po,
taga-ABS.
Your Honor, if I
Pakituro lang
have
kasi
the,
hinahanap po
record of the
namin.
subpoena. Yung subpoena mismo.
Pagdating sa panonood, may ka-vibes ang bawat Pilipino. PRTV Prime Media. Channel 31 sa Mega Manila, Cebu, Davao at Zamboanga. At sa mga channels na ito sa Baguio, Iloilo, Naga, Legazpi, Batangas, Cagayan de Oro at General Santos. Pati na rin sa YouTube. Yan ang PRTV Prime Media. Ka-vibes!
Narito na mga balita sa inyong PRTV News Break.
Dahil hindi tumitigil ang balita,
Umakyat sa 6 ang bilang ng mga namatay.
ang mga kaganapan saan mang sulok ng bansa, ipabalita agad-agad sa PRTV Newsbreak
Ako po sila Yomi Timosyo.
sa PRTV Prime Media. Kayo ay nanonood sa PRTV Prime Media.
Because the annexes are not part of the document marked, it's not here. So the question is quite clear. If it's a mistake, then what is the correct date of the subpoena?
If I can see the real subpoena, Your Honor.
Kindly talk to the mic, please.
Yeah. If I can see the real subpoena, Your Honor, because the subpoena was signed by our Assistant Director for Investigation Service.
As I said, unfortunately, it was not attached to your affidavit, and I doubt if it's one of those marked or pre-marked
Wala.
by the...
Ako si Nina Corpus.
Bawat komento, pulso ng bayan, importante yan sa amin. Bawat issue, dadaanan natin yan. Kaagapay nyo kami sa mga usaping hindi dapat palampasin. Live tayo sa DZMM, Radyo Patrol sa 630 at lahat ng FMR station sa buong Pilipinas. Gayon din sa Signal TV, Channel 31. Ako, si Jack Batallones. Ito ang
Arangkada Balita.
Bilang ng mga namatay sa pananalasa ng bagyong Inday at Habagat, umakyat na sa 21, 16, hinahanap pa. Higit 6 na pong estudyante sa Romblon na ospital ng himatayin sa magnitude 5.4 na lindol. House Prosecution Panel sa sentro sa kakayahan ni VP Sara Duterte bilang pinuno sa mga susunod na paglilitis. Pag-agos ng lava at pyroclastic density current o uson na itala sa Bulkang Mayon. Dagdag presyo sa mga produktong petrolyo. Asahan bukas. Pinoy tennis star Alex Yala umakyat sa career high number 28 sa WTA rankings.
Umakyat na sa 21 ang naitalang namatay sa pananalasa ng bagyong Inday at Habagat na pinalakas nito. Sa datos ng National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council o NDRRMC, 10 ang nasawi sa Region 12 habang may 7 naman sa Bangsamoro Region. Bineberipika na rin ngayon ng Office of Civil Defense ang 16 na nawawala mula sa pagguho ng lupa. Nauna nang naitala ang pagkamatay ng 10 magkakamag-anak sa Malapatan, Sarangani noong Biyernes dahil sa landslide na dala ng Inday Enhanced Habagat.
Merong 16 na nawawala, reported missing. Ito naman ay nanggagaling sa Jose Abad Santos sa Davao Occidental, sa Glan Sarangani, ganoon din sa Maguindanao at sa Lanao del Sur. Karamihan dito sa mga nawawala ay doon sa nangyaring pagguho ng lupa after ng ilang araw ng mga pag-ulan.
Sinalanta ng pagbaha at pagguho ng lupa ang mga bayan ng Jose Abad Santos, Davao Occidental at Malapatan, Sarangani Province. Dahil ito sa habagat na pinalakas ng bagyong Inday. Yan ang umarangkadang balita ni Noreen Igonya.
Naglupasay ang isang lola sa gitna ng mga nasirang bahay sa Barangay Tanuman sa bayan ng Jose Abad Santos nitong Sabado ng umaga. Kasama kasi ang anak niyang babae at 2 apo sa mga tinangay ng rumaragasang baha nitong gabi ng July 10. Natagpuan ang kanilang mga bangkay pero may 6 pang hinahanap. Ang isang lalaki naman, nagvideo na lang habang hinihintay nila ang paparating na baha. Wala na kasi silang lugar na matakbuhan nitong Biyernes ng gabi. Ilang kalsada din sa lugar ang hindi pa madaanan dahil sa landslides at patuloy pang isinasagawang clearing operations. Maraming bahay ang nasira, pati ang simbahan hindi rin nakaligtas sa baha.
We're on the process on determining safe relocation sites, no? So because of the flooding, may mga areas naman na sa tingin natin safe before pero ngayon inabutan ng baha, so hindi na naman safe. So yun yung mga challenges natin ngayon. At syempre, pag makahanap natin ng mga relocation sites.
Yung pagbaha dahil nga sa habagat na pinalakas ni Bagyong Inday. Habagat ito kasi ang Davao Occidental or ang dulo niya is Jose Abad Santos. Part na western side na siya. So kaya apektado siya ng habagat.
Sa bayan naman ng Malapatan, in-airlift na lang ang mga bangkay ng 10 magkakamag-anak na namatay sa pagguho ng lupa sa sitio Blesong Fandao, Barangay Poblasyon dahil hindi pa madaanan ang kalsada. Gumamit naman ng improvised cable crossing ang DSWD-12 para maihatid ang food packs at hygiene kits sa mga apektadong residente. Sa bayan naman ng Talayan, Maguindanao del Sur, patuloy pa rin ang paghahanap sa matandang lalaking tinangay ng baha nitong Biyernes. Humihingi naman ng tulong ang mga apektadong residente dahil hindi pa man sila nakabangon sa lindol nitong nakaraang buwan. Panibagong dagok na naman ngayon ang kanilang kinakaharap na lalong nagpapahirap sa kanilang mga sitwasyon. Mula dito sa Davao, Noreen Igonya ng PRTV News, nagseserbisyo para sa Pilipino.
Naitala ng PHIVOLCS ang pag-agos ng lava at pyroclastic density current o uson sa Bulkang Mayon kaninang umaga. Ang uson ay ang napaka-delikadong pagdaloy ng mainit na gas, abo at mga bato. Sa nakalipas na 24 na oras, naobserbahan din ang pag-agos ng lava sa bulkan. Umabot ang lava flow ng 3.8 kilometers sa Basud Gully, 3.2 kilometers sa Bong.
Damang salamat.
Salamat po, ma'am.
Thank you, Senator Judge Marcos. Senator Bamakino, and then we proceed to cross.
Your Honor, Can we just
Yes,
point out
Attorney
one
Binluan.
Your Honor, regarding that matter, Your Honor, may we just manifest, Your Honor, for the record, that not only in paragraph 14, page 6, does the November 6, 2024 date appear, it also appears on the footnote. Footnote 12, November 6, 2024. So I don't think we just want to read for the record footnote 12, subpoena to Francis Toral, head, ABS-CBN News, dated 06 November 2024. In addition to that, if you look at the subpoena, and paragraph 14 also is on 06 November 2024, a subpoena was issued to ABS-CBN News. Now, it is actually, it states that a copy of the video pertaining to the 18 October 24 press conference. And when you look at the subpoena itself, can you just ask for time? The subpoena, if you look at the subpoena, there's an attachment, and the photo there contained therein actually pertains to the 18 October 2024 press briefing. So in other words, Your Honor, this is a substantive, this is not a mere typography.
Objection, Your Honor. Counter manifestation. The witness said it's typographical, that you are milking that and say it's substantial.
Just for the record, it was a manifestation.
The manifestation
That's why
of
a
counsel for
counter-manifestation.
respondent is duly noted. Insofar as the counter manifestation of the counsel for prosecution, the witness already answered. That is a typographical
Thank you so much.
error from his point of view. Senator Judge Bamakino.
Yes,
Then we proceed to cross.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Presiding Officer. So ito po yung continuation po to nung tanong ko kanina tungkol sa general denial tsaka specific denial. Pero bago yon, Attorney Binluan, let me ask Attorney Lotok. Kanina po, tinanong kayo kung bakit nyo tinuloy yung kaso, no? Why you continued with filing. Sabi nyo po kanina, hindi naman siguro siya magsisinungaling. Siya meaning the Vice President. Could you just quickly tell me, what do you mean by that? Hindi naman siguro siya magsisinungaling.
Well, the surrounding circumstances, Your Honor, at that time, yung atmosphere, sabi ko nga, galit na galit siya at madiin yung kanyang mga binitawang salita. At ito ay nagugat pa sa mga naunang event. So doon, nung winika niya na wag kang mag-alala ma'am, sapagkat may sa security ko, sapagkat may kinausap na akong tao. From the point of view of the NBI, we believe that...
so you took it as truth?
Yes.
Okay. In succeeding interviews, I'm sure nag-imbestiga ka, meron bang pagtanggi dito sa pagkausap sa isang tao na papatay kung may mangyari kay Vice President Duterte? Meron ba kayong napanood o naimbestiga na pagtanggi nito in the succeeding interviews?
Yes, Your Honor. I think there was a video dated November 26, 2024. Doon sa video na yon, instead na i-deny niya yung nangyari noong November 23, ni-reiterate pa ho niya, Your Honor, in-admit po niya na indeed may kinausap siyang tao.
So inulit pa, kumbaga.
Opo.
Okay, so let me repeat my question to the defense. No, so far, wala pang actual statement si Vice President Duterte na tinatanggi itong pagkausap sa isang hitman. And for the benefit of the public, magkaiba ho kasi yung general denial sa specific denial, no? Ang general denial, hindi ko ginawa yan. Wala akong kasalanan, no? Yung specific denial, hindi ko ginawa ito mismong mga bagay-bagay na ito. Hindi ko yun nakita sa sagot ng depensa. So I asked the defense, is there a denial that the Vice President actually spoke to a person to contract, spoke to a person to kill, you know, the individuals that we're talking about, Attorney Binluan? Sabi nyo meron.
Your Honor,
could you point us to where it is in your answer?
Your Honor, I just want to clarify because specific denial is a legal term. So in other words, we just want, in order to satisfy the query of Senator Judge Aquino, we will give him a copy of our answer, and we highlighted certain portions thereof, particularly paragraph 3 and paragraph 197 for his
Can you
perusal.
read both paragraphs, please? Because I've also read kami dito, binabasa naman namin yung mga sagot ninyo at siniseryoso namin yan, no? So can you read the two, please?
It reads, the rest of the allegations in the articles, including the supposed evidence attached therein, are specifically denied for being false, misleading, impertinent, mere conclusions of fact and law, and subject to the affirmative allegations and special and affirmative defenses below. And then
That's Article 3.
Paragraph 3. Your
That's
Honor.
paragraph 3. So the rest, no, itong mga iba. Okay, paragraph 197.
197. It says there, finally, no such purpose contemplated by law was attained or could have been attained precisely because the respondent did not have any purpose other than simply answer a speculative inquiry. So that is our position on the matter.
So your position is that is enough of a specific denial to the allegation na may kinausap na hitman si Vice President Sara.
Yes, Your Honor, because we discussed in our answer that the presumption never shifts. It is in light of our discussion that it is the burden of the prosecution to prove their claim, considering that according to our laws, he who alleges must prove. And so we just presented our arguments accordingly, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm sure, attorney, sa inyong summation, you will argue this, that the burden of evidence has shifted. Pero hindi nyo po na take into account na ito mismo'y galing sa Vice President natin.
Your Honor, to clarify, the burden of proof is with the prosecution and not with the defense. In fact, Your Honor, according to our laws, even if we do not present evidence, if they do not overcome that threshold, Your Honor, then we believe that our client is entitled to.
So ang sagot po nyo, and this is my final question, presiding officer, ang sagot po nyo, kailangan i-prove ng prosecution na merong hitman. And you're not denying that the Vice President spoke to a hitman.
No, we are denying that, Your Honor. It's just that was our presentation in our answer.
Okay, so for the record, you are denying that the Vice President actually spoke to a hitman na, in fact, ang sabi nga ni Attorney Lotok, hindi siya nagsisinungaling.
Yes,
sinasabi nyo, actually, nagsinungaling siya at wala siyang kinausap na hitman. Yan pong sinasabi ninyo.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't know what's the frame of mind of Attorney Lotok, but that is our answer, Your Honor.
Okay.
That she denied.
Maraming salamat, attorney. Thank you.
Your Honor,
Thank you, Senator Judge Aquino. Senator Judge Zubiri is recognized. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Presiding Officer. Just want to go to the line of questioning continue the line of questioning of Senator Bam Aquino to the prosecution, Attorney Vinluan. So there is
Defense,
not
Your Honor.
yes, I'm
Defense.
sorry, defense. My apologies, Attorney Vinluan. Has been no in any instance that the Vice President had come out on TV or radio saying that hindi, joke only, nagkamali ako, nagbobo. Kasi si Tatay Digong nung araw, sinasabi niya yun eh. So, papatayin ko siya. Tapos mamaya, joke only yan. Nagloloko lang ako. Parang ganun. So at no particular point in time, has she issued a denial that she said these statements? Aside from what you submitted to this court as a blanket denial.
There is, Your Honor, and we just reserve our right to present that evidence at the proper time as well, Your Honor.
Okay, so there's a video or recording that was done maybe a month or during the period of time that she had mentioned this, that she was denying, because we'd like to see that as well. That would weigh in heavily on our decision because kung ngayon lang po nagpalabas ang depensa ng denial, parang after the fact na kasi nagkaroon na po tayo ng impeachment trial. We'd like to see that if you have that kind of evidence.
We will provide, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Judge Zubiri. What is the pleasure of Senator Judge Alan Cayetano?
I'm not going to ask a question, just for clarification. May I just put it on the record?
The gentleman may proceed and he has 2 minutes.
If you look at the articles of impeachment, Article 4, Respondent Vice President Sara Duterte committed culpable violation of the Constitution, high crimes, and betrayed public trust by contracting for the assassination by the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House by making grave threats and actively inciting sedition against the public. To be fair to the prosecution, I think it was asked of them that merely threatening for you is already, I hope I'm representing it correct, is already impeachable,
Yes, sir.
either high crimes, grave threats, or by culpable violation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But there's a difference between saying that that mere statement is impeachable by alleging that she did in fact contract someone to kill. Because if you look at the next page, it is the position of the prosecution of the House of Representatives. The fact that respondent contracted an assassin no longer requires further proof, as it is already established under the matter of light of her own public admission. That's a conclusion of law. Because it is basic that if someone alleges that someone contracted assassin, you have to prove.
Your Honor.
Diba? So what I wanted to clarify, and to be fair to both sides, you can comment. As far as I'm concerned, ang understanding ko, the prosecution did not stop short by saying that by merely uttering that is impeachable.
Yes.
They went further to say that they are alleging that she did in fact contract an assassin. In fact, nowhere in her words assassin, in the words of the Vice President, was assassin or contracted. Contracted means may kontrata. Sinabi niya lang may kinausap siya. And yung assassin came from, at least on these documents, from them. So I just want to clarify because baka yung manunod, bakit nga naman hindi kailangan i-prove nasabi in public? Those, what I wanted to clarify, those are two different things. Whether the threat as said is an impeachable offense, but if you're alleging that there was an actual assassin contracted, you have to prove that.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
Can I reply to that, Your Honor, please?
No need to reply. The Senator Judge Cayetano was not asking a question. He was merely making a manifestation for the record. Let's move on, counsel. Counsel, for the respondent, if you're ready with your cross, you may proceed.
Attorney Lotok, the NBI is an investigatory body, correct?
Yes, sir.
But unlike the DOJ, it is not a prosecutorial body, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, you have investigators and not prosecutors. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Now, in relation to this case, what you did was only fact-finding investigation, correct?
Fact-finding and recommendation, sir.
And recommendation, not preliminary investigation.
Not preliminary.
Because that function is with the DOJ, correct?
Yes, sir.
And in the course of your fact-finding investigation, you subpoenaed witnesses, correct?
Yes, sir.
Conducted interviews,
Yes, sir.
gathered evidence.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, thereafter, you transmitted the result of your fact-finding investigation to the DOJ, correct?
Our recommendation, sir. Yeah.
Okay. We learned from Agent Calilong last time, just to clarify, that there were two transmittals. Correct? The
Yes,
first
sir.
transmittal was on January 30, 2025, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For the benefit of this court, there was a transmittal letter then, correct?
Yes, sir.
Can we flash that on the screen? For the benefit of our senators, that is page 7 of the Articles of Impeachment, Annex G9 or GGGG. All right. Now, if you look at the document, this was received by the DOJ also on the same day. So January 30, 2025, correct? Well, it is not clear, but it can be read. If I may be allowed to use a pointer, Your Honor, just to...
You may do so, counsel.
It's quite unclear, but actually, if you look at the actual document, it can be read as January 30, 2025. Do you confirm this?
I don't have the document, sir. May.
Well, we have a hard copy, and I asked my co-counsel to show the document.
Co-counsel may approach.
30. Yeah, hindi siya clear, Your Honor.
All right. Now, this was addressed to Prosecutor General Fadulyon. Correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And NBI's recommendation was for 1 count of inciting to sedition and 3 counts of grave threats. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Now, attached to this transmittal letter was your affidavit of investigation. I won't bother to read the body, but it says there that it was attached to that transmittal letter, correct? Because of course, the transmittal letter won't be empty. It has to contain something, correct?
Your Honor, let the witness, I move that the witness be allowed to answer first before the counsel asks a follow-up question.
Witness will please answer.
I think yung copy ng affidavit is nasa DOJ na, yung first affidavit.
So there was an affidavit of investigation because Agent Calilong also confirmed this last time. So I just want a clarification from you. There was a first affidavit of investigation dated January 30,
Yes,
2025. All right. But we never saw this because it was never released, correct?
I think nasa DOJ.
With the DOJ.
For purposes of case build-up.
But didn't you keep a receiving copy for your office?
No, kasi meron na kaming copy sa computer.
So in
namin.
other words, you have a
Your Honor,
copy of this January 30, 2025 affidavit of investigation, correct?
Your Honor, I move that can the witness finish his answer first before the counsel.
You already gave his answer.
Respondent, kindly wait for the witness to finish his answer.
We will comply, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Personally, I believe na nandun sa DOJ yung copy and then yung sinubmit sa amin is yung unang certification stating na kailangan yung i-comply itong 7
Alright.
requirements.
Okay. Now, there was also an investigation data form attached, correct?
I don't have the copy, Your Honor.
If you know if there is a investigation data form that was attached to it, correct? Okay. Now, very well. Now, the DOJ thereafter evaluated the case.
Part of the DC-15 requirement, Your Honor.
No, it's a yes, sir. It's answerable by yes or no.
Your Honor, the witness is in the process of answering a question. He is intelligent enough to answer the question.
Let the witness finish his answer.
Part of the requirement of the DC-15 series of 2024, if I'm not mistaken, the circular has directed the prosecutors to proactively engage in the investigation of crimes or in the criminal investigation. Kaya ho yung ginagawa namin nung nag-submit kami nung transmittal, ang purpose ho nun for evaluation ng ating prosecution, at the same time for case build-up. So pag nakita ho ng prosecutor na may kulang, part ho ng evaluation saka case build-up process, nagbibigay ho sila ng recommendation. NBI, may kulang kang ganito, may kulang kang ganito, hindi pa sa sufficient, i-comply nyo muna to. Part ho yun ng DC-15 requirements.
All right, clear. So in other words, the evaluation is to determine if the recommendation is sufficient or insufficient for the purpose of preliminary investigation, correct?
For purposes of case build-up, so that the transmittal or referral would be able to comply the requirements of preliminary investigation.
At any rate, preliminary investigation is the next step, correct?
Yes, Your Honor, after the evaluation and case
All
build-up
right.
process.
Can you receive this evaluation or response from the DOJ? Am I right?
You mean the certification, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, the first
No,
certification.
if only you receive.
Your Honor, again. The witness is in the process of answering the question, and the counsel is excited to propound a follow-up question. Let the witness answer first.
Same ruling, same reminder. Witness, kindly proceed to answer.
Again, sir, what was the question?
So you received a response from the DOJ.
A certification dated February 5, 2025.
All right. Oh, no. That's not my question. But anyway, let me direct your attention to a certification issued by the DOJ through Senior Assistant State Prosecutor J.V. Lawrence B. Bandong and approved by Senior Assistant State Prosecutor Herbert Calvin P. Abugan, dated February 5. For the benefit of this honorable court and the Filipino people watching, this is Articles of Impeachments Annex G9 as well, pages 10 and 11. May we ask that the witness peruse this certification? Just a manifestation, Your Honor. Annex G9 is actually not numbered. So pages 10 and 11 was based on the PDF file or the soft copy, but the hard copies are not actually numbered.
Noted.
So, Mr. Witness, was this the response from DOJ following your January 30, 2025
Yes, sir.
transmittal? So this certification contained the DOJ's evaluation, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And-
Part of the requirement
Wait,
ng TC
again, the same.
Yes, Your Honor.
same.
Your Honor.
The witness still answering. Let the witness answer first before propounding the next question.
And the NBI received this February 5 certification, correct?
Yung copy ko, Your Honor, hindi ko makita yung date.
Oh, I'll help you. There is a note received on the upper right that is unclear. Can we flash that on the screen as well? It is unclear, but it appears to have been received on February 5, 2025, correct? So more or less 6 days after transmittal. Do you confirm this?
Your Honor, before the witness answers the question, I would like to
Yes,
commence
counsel.
my objection on the ground of relevance. May I explain, Your Honor, please? This witness testified that what they filed with the NBI, with the DOJ, is a February 10 affidavit investigation. And here comes the defense now, asking questions as to the first affidavit of investigations that the NBI submitted, which the DOJ asked them to correct and to provide additional information, which they complied with. And what is now at issue is the February 10 affidavit investigation. That's why I'm now objecting on the grounds of relevance.
Your Honor.
Let me finish. What's the point of digging into a prior affidavit investigation when what this witness testified to, when what this witness identified is a later affidavit investigation that is now being considered by the DO? The question is simple. What's the relevance?
Objection is overruled. It goes into the credibility of the witness as well as his ability to testify as to his investigative report. And witness is competent enough anyway. Witness may answer.
Yes, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, we received that letter on 10 February 2025 based on the second letter submitted to Honorable Richard Anthony D. Fadulion, signed by Judge Jaime B. Santiago. It states here that on 10 February 2025, this Bureau received the certification dated 05 February 2025, where the evaluating prosecutors referred the case for case build-up, citing reasons thereof.
Then in that case, Your Honor, we have a problem because this is
Oh,
part...
Your Honor, objection.
Your Honor, I'm not yet... I'm not-
Objection.
Kindly let counsel finish.
Because like, as I mentioned a while ago, Your Honor, this forms part of the records of this honorable court. This was submitted as page 10 to 11 of Annex G9. This is part of the court's record, and we also received this. These are not our documents.
That's why I'm objecting,
These are
Your
the
Honor.
prosecutions. I mean, the
Counsel for the
prosecution's
prosecution,
documents.
kindly let him finish.
These are not our documents, Your Honor. These are part of the records of the court. This came from them, and they attached this to the articles of impeachment. Your Honor, we have all the right to confront each and every document because that forms part of the charge against our client. Now,
Counsel-
if Attorney Lotok is saying, Your Honor, if I may just be allowed
It
to
is now
finish,
a manifestation,
that
Your Honor.
it was received on February 10. We just want to counter-manifest, Your Honor, that there is a received stamp here, says February 5.
Your Honor, this is not highly...
Counsel, the presiding officer already overruled the objection of counsel for the prosecutors. And I thought you would end up with a question. Kindly proceed with your cross-examination.
So in other words, you deny that it was received on February 5, 2025 as seen here in this document that is part of the records of the Senate Impeachment Court.
Well, first, Your Honor, hindi ho ako yung nag-receive niyan. Then pangalawa, ang nakapirma ho rito ang dating director namin, Jaime B. Santiago, at ang sinasabi niya, on 10 February 2025, this Bureau received the certification dated 05 February 2025.
All right. Anyway, I'll move on to a new point. This certification noted 7 items, and we went through this the last time with Agent Kalilong, so I won't delve on that. But basically, just to go through this very quickly, the first point says that there is no affidavit of the person, so no affidavit. The second point is, or the second note is, the press briefing conducted on October 18. So no TSN and affidavit of the person taking the TSN. Number 3 is annexes I and K with marking. So no affidavit of recorder and no TSN and affidavit. Number 4, Annex L did not indicate who made such TSN, so incomplete information. Number 5, the affidavit of Juan Patria Morales, so no USB. Number 6, only the minutes of the meeting with several so no affidavit. But I'd like
Oh, Your Honor, that's my objection now.
I'm just reading
Where's
it, Your
the
Honor.
question?
Wait for the question.
Kindly
Okay,
wait
there's
for
a
the
I'm going to the
Counsel.
question. I'm just
Thank
laying
you.
the basis, Your Honor. Now, I'd like to highlight note number 7. Please allow me to read that portion, or at least the latter portion thereof. It says there, in the instant complaint, only the NBI executed an affidavit and there was no participation on the part of the offended parties. As it appears, NBI is not the offended party for the crime of grave threats. My question is this. So based on note number 7, according to the DOJ, the NBI is not the offended party, correct?
Based on number 7, based on number 7, NBI is not the offended party for the crime of grave threats.
Okay, very well. So the offended parties, if at all, are President BBM, the First Lady, and the former Speaker, correct?
Yes, sir.
At any rate, all these, the 7 notes that I mentioned, are all deficiencies in the first affidavit of investigation, correct?
It's not deficiency, Your Honor, because the affidavit, the first affidavit we've submitted is substantial in terms of establishing the evidence required. This requirement is a matter of complying the required quantum of evidence required under DC-20. And if I may, sir, the purpose of submitting our referral to the Department of Justice is for preliminary investigation, which under the NPS rules, the new rules under the NPS, the law enforcement agency can submit a complaint affidavit, or in fact, submit a complaint before the DOJ for purposes of preliminary investigation. The requirement that the offended party should have that complaint affidavit is not an indispensable requirement, and so far as the preliminary investigation is concerned. So far as the preliminary investigation is concerned.
Very well. Now, based on that answer, I'd just like to point your attention to the portion of this certification dated February 5, 2025, next to the box ticked with an X. Kindly allow me to read, if we can highlight that portion. Okay. It says here, and you can read with me, insufficient for the conduct of preliminary investigation and must first be referred for case build-up. So in Filipino, this is my question, I'll do it in Filipino. So in other words, nakulangan yung DOJ, correct?
For purposes, Your Honor, of satisfying the elements, I mean the required quantum of evidence, the DOJ required us to attach the affidavits and other documents like the TSN, sir.
Thank you. And the DOJ itself mentioned this, correct? Or said this, correct?
Based on the certification.
All right. In fact, let me direct your attention to the portion after, I quote, must first be referred for case build-up. Can we flash that also on the screen? And allow me to read. The complaint/referral does not contain all the necessary evidence to prove the essential elements of the crime. Therefore, it is recommended that the same be first referred for case build-up. Okay? Now, let me get this straight. I'll summarize first and then I'll ask the question. So, the subject incident happened on November 23, 2024, and the NBI conducted fact-finding investigation, as you said. You subpoenaed individuals, conducted interviews, gathered evidence, among others, as you said also, and the NBI spent over 2 months or until January 30, 2025.
Totoo lang, while for us, the public, it might be morally wrong or parang questionable legally, and based on the Senate impeachment rules, there's nothing wrong with that. Nasabi na ni Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago noon, walang pakialamanan ang mga senator judges. They are free to ask questions that they want. Kasi, just because they ask a question, doesn't mean na yun na yung kanilang punto. For example, Senator Risa Ontiveros last week, she was heavily criticized even by some allies.
Yes.
Pero si Attorney Sal Panelo, nakalaban, na DDS, sabi tama si Senator Risa. It's because open-ended yung tanong ni Senator Risa. What is the relevance of your evidence to the impeachable offense? General, ang sabi ni Senator Pia, sabi ng iba, oh, she's already judging on the merits, medyo advanced yung question. Mali. Is, tanong niya yun eh. Capacity or capability dapat ng prosecution or defense to answer it because they can argue for or against and the senator judge will just listen and decide for him or herself kung ano ba yung papaniwalaan niya. It doesn't mean na yung nagtanong siya, yun na yung pinaniniwalaan niya. But I do understand yung mga general public, yung ating mga kababayan na baka nag-iisip, ay itong senator judge na to, pabor na sa defense, itong senator judge na to, pabor na sa prosecution. Pwede, pero it doesn't follow.
Okay. At sinabi naman ng depensa kanina no, na magpapatawag sila ng testigo raw na magpapatunay sa Operation Romanov. Paano ito makakaapekto sa impeachment?
Well, ang Operation Romanov kasi, yan ang sinasabi ng ating depensa at ni Vice President Sara Duterte na rason bakit siya nakapagbitaw ng mga grave threats. It's allegedly because mayroon din daw threat sa buhay nila. Ang unang relevance nito no, sa araw na to para maisip natin kagad kanina anong kinalaman ng Operation Romanov. Naririnig natin kaso ano kasi ito medyo banyagang idea, foreign idea because Operation Romanov is from a different country. No? Pero kanina, na-mention na ng NBI ni Attorney Jeremy Lotok na nag-investigate din naman ng NBI sa mga threats sa buhay ni VP Sara. So mali yung sinabi ng defense na hindi daw nila in-investigate yung threats kay VP Sara. Last week, pinagmumukhang biased ang NBI. They're not. They investigated the threat against the President. They also investigated the threat against the Vice President. It's just the Vice President did not cooperate. So kung may Operation Romanov na totoo, dapat si Vice Presidente, si Pangalawang Pangulo, siya na nagbigay ng ebidensya sa NBI. Siya nagsasabi na may Operation Romanov But hindi nyo pa natatanong, we have to clarify agad. Actually, ang pinakaunang nagsabi ng Operation Romanov is Mayor Baste Duterte. The first family, the President, never said anything about Operation Romanov against the Vice President and the Duterte family. It was Mayor Baste who cautioned.
Yes.
Sabi niya, mag-ingat ka, Pangulo, sa Operation Romanov. Sometime 2024, sometime 2023. I'm not sure kung 2023 or 2024. So
saan ang galing yun?
So ang relevance po niya sa trial is kung totoo yun, pwede kong makita na yung depensa, merong defense. Which is, meron daw pinanggagalingan yung grave threats ni VP Sara. Pero kung hindi yung totoo, edi walang pinanggagalingan yung grave threats ni VP Sara. And she should be held accountable for her grave threats.
Oo. Pero yun na nga parang kung wala nga tayong narinig na sinabi ng kampo, wala nga naman sabihin nila, di ba? Pero ibig ko sabihin, ang nanggaling nga yun kay Mayor Baste Duterte.
Na-fact-check ang defense.
At may video yun.
Yes, may video yun. Na-fact-check ang defense, na-fact-check si VP Sara. And let's emphasize, si Mayor Baste, he has continuously also made threats against the President. For example, in a recent Rage Coalition, yung bago nilang coalition,
yes.
sabi niya, isang ulo lang ang kailangan namin or ang gusto namin, referring to the President.
Okay. So ano naman po ang dapat nating asahan sa pagharap naman ni OVP, dating OVP Chief of Staff, Attorney Zulaika Lopez bilang testigo bukas? Yan, medyo inaabangan talaga ng lahat.
Kaabang-abang yan kasi si Attorney Zulaika is in the thick of things, no? Nung nag-grave threats si VP Sara, sabi ng defense, may kontekstong pinanggagalingan. At last week, ang ginamit nilang konteksto, si Attorney Zulaika mismo. So yun yung relevance niya, una. Ang pangalawang relevance niya, para sa prosecution naman, bakit nila tinatawag? Sa tingin ko tingnan natin bukas kung tama, kaya nila gustong tawagin si Attorney Zulaika Lopez is because nandun siya nung ginawa ni VP Sara yung grave threats. Narinig niya, kasama niya sa kwarto, so she can also testify doon sa mood, doon sa behavior, doon sa sinabi ni VP Sara. Other than that, malaking question mark na ano ang magiging testimonya ni Attorney Zulaika at anong intensyon ng prosecution in calling her. Kasi narinig na natin, she will be called as a hostile witness.
Yes.
Ang hostile witness ay isang witness na hindi naman friendly sa'yo. Tinawag mo siya, pero hindi mo siya nakausap before testifying. Hindi mo alam anong sasabihin niya. And most likely, ang sasabihin niya ay favorable doon sa kalaban mong testigo or doon sa kalaban mong respondent, which is the Vice President. Obviously, Attorney Zulaika is the Chief of Staff of the OVP, so her testimony will most likely be favorable to the Vice President. So as a hostile witness, she will have to be qualified as a hostile witness, and after that, it remains to be seen how the prosecution will manage a hostile witness.
So, it could make or break.
It could be good or bad for the prosecution.
Yeah, good or bad.
Later, after this week, baka sabihin natin, ay, wrong move for the prosecution. Or, we can also say, wow, genius move. Kasi ang dami pa nilang nakuha.
At yan ang aabangan natin bukas. Nako, maraming salamat sa inyong oras sa ating political analyst, Jesus Jess Falsis. Magandang gabi po.
Maraming salamat.
Matapos ang unang linggo ng impeachment trial, umani ng samut-saring opinyon kung sino nga ba ang nanalo sa pagitan ng House prosecutors at defense team ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero ayon kay dating Bayan Muna Representative Attorney Nery Colmenares, mas lamang sa ngayon ang prosekusyon. Nasa linya ng telepono si Lestor Aler. Lestor.
Check, lumamang ang prosekusyon. Iyan ang sinabi ni human rights lawyer at dating Bayan Muna Representative Attorney Nery Colmenares matapos matanong sa kanyang opinyon sa naging unang linggo ng impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte, kung saan ipresenta ang video na nangyaring press con bilang ebidensya sa ilalim ng ika-4 na Articles of Impeachment kaugnay sa pagbabanta umano ng Vice Presidente kay Pangulong Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos at dating House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Ayon kay Colmenares, sinubukan naman ng depensa ang kanilang makakaya pero medyo mahina ang kanilang hawak na kaso. Dagdag pa niya, kahit sino pang abogado ang hiharap ng Vice Presidente ay mahihirapan itong idepensa ang assassination threat sa First Family. May tuturing din anya itong open and shut case at hindi na dapat napahabain pa ang usapina.
Kung ikaw man ang abogado ng depensa, hirap talaga. Kaya the only thing you can do is object and object, technical and technical. So, lamang ang prosecution, not for anything, except ang lakas ng kaso nila.
We move that we be allowed to
Check, samantala, pinabulaanan naman ni Colmenares ang kumakalat na impormasyon sa social media patungkol sa 2/3 ng boto sa Senado base sa kanilang kaso na Bayan versus Zamora. Ayon sa kanya, ang totoong issue ay kung valid ba ang Visiting Forces Agreement sa kabila ng constitutional provision.
So pagdidebatihan pa ba natin kung 15 or 16 ang 2/3 ng 23, 18 ang pumirma sa Visiting Forces Agreement. So hindi totoo yung kumakalat sa social media na sinabi categorically ng Korte Suprema sa Bayan versus Zamora na ang 2/3 ng Senado ay 16 talaga yan.
Sa kabilang banda, Jack, nagsagawa naman ng prayer rally ang iba't ibang religious group kaninang tanghali bago magsimula ang paglilitis kay Duterte. Bitbit ng kanilang karatula at poster, panawagan nila ang katotohanan, katarungan at pananagutan sa nangyayaring korupsyon sa bansa. Sa mga oras na ito, Jack, makulimlim ang panahon dito sa labas ng Senado. Pero sa kabila niya tahimik at payapa naman ang paligid ng Senado dahil yan sa ipinapatupad na mas mahigpit na seguridad ng mga ating kapulisan mula sa Philippine National Police. Yan ang latest update mula dito sa labas ng Senado. Balik sa iyo, Jack.
Maraming salamat, Lestor Aler. Magandang balita para sa commuters ng LRT2, pwede nang pambayad sa pasahe ang inyong debit, credit cards at e-wallet. May umaarangkadang balita si Justin Ignacio.
Hindi ka napipila sa mga ticket machines o ticket booth para makabayad sa LRT2. Pwede na ang debit, credit card at e-wallet. Ngayong inilunsad na ng Transportation Department ang cashless payment system.
Kung maaalala natin na last year, una nating nilaunch itong programang ito sa MRT3. So ngayon, LRT2 naman at kasunod ay LRT1.
Susunod na ring ilulunsad ang cashless payment system para sa LRT1 ngayong taon. Ikinatuwa ito ni Tonet Encinares, isang ina at may anak na nag-aaral sa Maynila.
For me, okay po siya.
para mas madali po yung processing po. Just in case may emergency, biglang nawalan, madali pong makakapag-send agad ng mga pangpamasahe po.
Naisakatuparan ng proyekto sa tulong ng iba't ibang public at private stakeholders gaya ng Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation o RCBC, Visa, Light Rail Transit Authority, Department of Information and Communications Technology at Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Paliwanag ng DOTR, isang proof of concept ang ginagawa nilang interoperable system sa MRT3, LRT2 at 1 dahil isa pang malaking proyekto ang nakatakda nilang ilunsad sa susunod na taon.
Na by next year magkakaroon po tayo nung malaki nating public-private partnership PPP project, yung Philippine Automated Fare Collection System na sasaklaw po hindi lang sa MRT3, LRT2, LRT1 kundi sa lahat po ng release natin ng tren at maging ibang modes of transport.
Simula na rin ang Piso Fare Cashback Promo ng RCBC na epektibo hanggang sa katapusan ng Hulyo. Ako si Justin Ignacio ng PRTV News, nagseserbisyo para sa Pilipino.
Sa lagay ng panahon, nagpapaulan pa rin ang habagat sa ilang bahagi ng bansa ayon sa Pag-asa. Maulan ang panahon sa Ilocos, Zambales, Bataan, Tarlac at Benguet. Makakaranas din ng kalat-kalat at panakanakang pag-ulan ngayong gabi sa Metro Manila at nalalabing bahagi ng Luzon. Samantala, ganap ng naging tropical depression ang bagyong may international name na Haishen. Ito ay nasa mahigit 1,000 kilometro silangan ng Eastern Visayas na may bilis na 55 kilometers per hour at pagbugsong hanggang 70 kilometers per hour. Kumikilos ito pahilagang kanluran sa bilis na 10 kilometers per hour. Posible itong pumasok ng Philippine Area of Responsibility sa loob ng 24 na oras, pero hindi ito inaasahang makakaapekto sa anumang bahagi ng bansa. Itinalaga ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. si Dr. Jose Britanio Pujalte Jr. bilang bagong kalihim ng Department of Health kapalit ng nagbitiw na Secretary Teodoro Herbosa. Ayon kay Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro, nagsumite ng courtesy resignation si Herbosa dahil sa kanyang kalusugan matapos sumailalim sa isang medical procedure. Si Pujalte ay isang batikang orthopedic surgeon at matagal ng lingkod bayan na may mahigit 3 dekada ng karanasan sa pamahalaan. Mula pa noong 2014, pinamumunuan na niya ang Philippine Orthopedic Center bilang Medical Center Chief 2. Nagtapos si Pujalte ng medisina sa University of the Philippines at may master's degree sa Hospital Administration mula sa Ateneo. Nagsanay din siya sa Japan, United States at United Kingdom at dati na ring naging presidente ng Philippine Orthopedic Association at ASEAN Orthopedic Association.
Itinalaga ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ngayong araw bilang kalihim ng Department of Health si Dr. Jose S. Pujalte Jr. Baon ang malawak na karanasan at natatanging pamumuno bilang doktor, hospital administrator, guro at lingkod bayan na may mahigit na 3 dekada sa pagsusulong ng pampublikong pangkalusugan.
Oil price hike ang sasalubong sa mga motorista bukas. Kasabayan ang muling pag-init ng tensyon sa pagitan ng Estados Unidos at Iran. Yan ang umarangkadang balita ni Naomi Tiburcio.
Tataas muli ang presyo ng produktong petrolyo bukas, July 14. Ang Shell at Sea Oil maagang nag-anunsyo ng piso kada litro na aumento sa gasolina, 2 piso at 30 sentimos naman sa kerosene, at pinakamataas ang aumento sa diesel na nasa 4 na piso at 60 sentimos. Sumipa kasi ang presyo ng krudo sa pandaigdigang merkado kasabay ng panibagong girian sa pagitan ng Iran at Estados Unidos. Yan ay sa kabila ng pagsisiguro ng US President Donald Trump na tuloy-tuloy ang komersyo sa Strait of Hormuz. Pero ang Department of Energy ititigil na ang pagtatakda ng price range para sa maaring paggalaw ng petrolyo kada linggo. Imbes na price range, iisang presyo na lang ang ilalabas sila na maaring sundin ng mga gasolinahan sa tuwing tataas o bababa ang presyo ng petrolyo.
Nag-range tayo kasi we thought that with the agreement
kakalma na yung presyo, ano. But by observation of this week and last week, parang hindi pa siya bumababa at bumaba. So we decided to be stricter on the prices.
Marami kasi nagreklamo na sinasamantala ng mga gasolinahan ang paniningil ng mas mataas na presyo sa price range.
If the prices are still volatile, ayaw natin ng abuse, no? Kaya mas madali po ma-monitor at ma-control po ng DOE pag definite yung isang presyo lang.
Ako si Naomi Tiburcio ng PRTV News, nagseserbisyo para sa Pilipino.
Balitang showbiz muna tayo mula kay Jai Ho. Jai.
Hi Miss Nins, hi Sir Jack at sa lahat ng ating mga karangkada. Heto na nga ang latest na umarangkadang showbiz balita.
Again, can you go up?
Investigation data form, Your Honor.
Is an investigation data form subscribed and sworn to by the person filing it? To your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor. There is subscribed and sworn to before this 11th day of February and signed by the administrating officer.
Okay.
And as law practitioners, we know that when we file a case before the office of the city prosecutor, this actual page is signed and subscribed before the public prosecutor,
Your
correct?
Honor, again.
If you know, you are a lawyer and you are a
as to-
supervisor
If
of
I
your
may.
department. I'm just asking a basic question.
I am now-
As a law practitioner, as a lawyer, you know that this IDF is signed and subscribed before the public prosecutor when you file a case, correct?
If I may objection, Your Honor, continuing objection as to the relevance of this series of
Noted,
questions.
same
Your Honor,
ruling. Witness may answer if he knows.
Again, Your Honor, before the prosecutor?
Correct. In normal cases, the IDF is subscribed and sworn to before the public prosecutor, correct?
Well, in this case, Your Honor, it was administered by Assistant Director Glenn Ricarte, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm glad you pointed that out. Isn't Ricarte from the NBI?
Yes, Assistant Director po siya.
In other words, this is a DOJ document, but you made your subscription before an NBI agent. Isn't that supposed to be before the DOJ agent?
But again, wala akong personal knowledge dyan sa details na yan, sir. Siguro tanungin nyo kung sino ho yung naka-affix ang signature.
All right.
dyan, sir.
But what is worse, if I can direct
Your Honor,
your...
objection. Another objection, Your Honor. You know, this council is in the habit of inserting,
Your Honor,
adding value
if we may
to what is otherwise.
Just be allowed to continue, Your Honor. This is our time. We've given them enough leeway, Your Honor, after more than hours.
Let him lay the basis of his question.
Yes.
All right. Can I direct your attention to the upper right portion of this IDF? It states docketed 3/7/2025, and there is a docket number XVI-INV-25C-00048. Again, this is not with the source of this document is not the DOJ. This is your receiving copy, correct? In fact, this was part of the subpoena documents which you sent to the House of Committee on Justice, correct?
Objection. Compound questions. 2 questions.
Okay, I'll
Kindly reform, counsel.
so, all right. My question is this, okay? So, do you confirm that there is a marking on the upper right which says docketed 3/7/25, and there's a docket number assigned?
In this document, sir, yes.
All right. We manifest, Your Honor, that this is still the same Annex G9. So in other words, you're telling this court that this document was subscribed on February 11, 2025, received on January 30, 2025, and docketed on whatever it is, July 3 or March 7, 2025. Is that what you're saying?
That's compound. That's compound. You're asking 2 dates and asking for 1 question.
No, Your Honor, I just described the document
Exactly.
as it
Compound
is.
question. Ask 1 question per date. That is exactly the genius why we don't allow compound questions. You're asking 2 questions and asking this witness to answer once. That's dangerous. That's
Counsel,
compound question.
counsel, presiding officer will clarify the matter. Questions were earlier asked already with respect to the February subscription and the January 30 receipt. Insofar as the docketing is concerned, do you see the numbers and or dates 3/7/25, Attorney Latok?
Yes, Your Honor. In this document, there is number 3/7/25.
And for clarity, NPS docket means National Prosecution Service.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
Opo. Yes,
So
Your
it's a
Honor.
docket of the National Prosecution Service.
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed, counsel.
All right. So now I am showing you pages 169, 168, 169 also of Annex G9. This pertains to the affidavit of Agent Kalilung, which is an attachment now to the revised affidavit of investigation. You added this document to rectify the January 30 affidavit of investigation, correct?
Again, sir?
You added this document in order to rectify the January 30, the first affidavit of investigation, correct? And we will confront you with the document. Again, these are not our documents.
The document was signed by Agent Mark Kalilong and subscribed and sworn to before Attorney Van Homer Angluben. Sir.
Okay. So in other words, I just want to take a look on the date. Can we flash the date? So when you received the February 5 certification from the DOJ, you executed this, and it was February 10.
Objection.
correct?
No,
I'm not the one
that's
who
now
executed
misleading.
it.
That's misleading. It's Agent Kalilong who executed that, and then you're asking you executed that. That's misleading.
No.
It's clear
But
on the record.
But this is part of the revised affidavit of investigation, which
Objection,
this witness
revised.
co-signed.
The
If he
witness
knows-
already said
if
that
he
they
knows.
did not revise it. They just complied. Misleading, or
Oh, you want to go?
misleading.
Okay, since
Counsel, kindly settle down. The question, Attorney Lotok, is did you add, in order to comply with the DOJ requirement, this affidavit signed by Agent Kalilong? And is the date February 10? Meaning in compliance with the DOJ observation, is this one of the affidavits that you added? And is it dated?
Although I don't have my record, it appears so, Your Honor, based on the document shown to me by the counsel.
Both as to the fact that it was one of the affidavits added and as to the date, Attorney Latok.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
All
Move
right.
on, counsel.
I am showing you another affidavit. This is page 178, 179 of Annex G9. This now pertains to the Geran affidavit. This was also an attachment to the revised affidavit of investigation.
Objection again, Your Honor, please. The continuing use of revise, when this witness already said that they did not revise anything, they just complied with the requirement. That's now misleading.
Your Honor, just
many times over, misleading.
All right, just to put this issue at rest, Your Honor, I'm confronting the witness with a letter to Richard Anthony D. Fadulion dated February 11, 2025. And I want to read, Your Honor, the last paragraph thereof. It says, to support our recommendation, attached herein is the revised affidavit of investigation. This is not our document. This is the NBI's document. Can Attorney Lotok be confronted with this document, please?
It
Attorney
was signed.
Latok, please answer.
Yes, Your Honor. It was signed by then Director Judge Jaime B. Santiago.
Can you confirm the last sentence for the record? Can you read it for the record?
To support the recommendation, attached herein is the revised affidavit of investigation, including its attachment.
Can you repeat the word before the word affidavit of
Ask and
investigation,
answered,
please?
Your Honor. Ask
Asked
and
and
answered.
answered.
Then I'm not misleading after all. Anyway,
Objection, Your Honor. That's an unnecessary statement. Counsel is supposed to ask questions and not make these remarks.
Counsels, kindly settle down. We're about to wind up the day.
all right. I'm showing you now pages, proceed, 178 to 179 of the revised affidavit of investigation. Can you be confronted with that document? The date is February 10, 2025. I just want to confirm the date if that is correct. As it
Date-
appears from the document.
As it appears here, 10th day of February 2025.
Oh, very well. I am showing you now pages 187 to 188 of Annex G9, also a kalilong affidavit, which is an attachment to the revised affidavit of investigation. Can we flash the date of that document?
What's the question?
Also, February 10. So in other words, you attach this to your revised affidavit of investigation.
It appears here, 10th day of February 2025, sir.
And you attached it to your affidavit of investigation, correct?
As an attachment, sir.
All right, very good. Now, showing you 199 to 200 of Annex G9. Now, this is the Asuncion affidavit. And I'll make a point in a couple of questions, Your Honor. Can you just confirm the date also and if it was attached to your revised affidavit of investigation?
10th day, it appears here, 10th day of February 2025.
All right. So it was attached also to your revised affidavit of investigation.
Assumption. Yes.
All right. Now this is the question. I'm showing you now page 112 of Annex G9, another kalilong affidavit. Did you also add this to rectify your January 30 affidavit of investigation or the first affidavit of investigation? We have here a soft copy, affidavit of transcription. Was this also a document that was lacking in your first affidavit of investigation, which you added to your revised affidavit of investigation?
Again, Your Honor, registering my continuing objection as to the relevance of this series of questions that is consuming the entirety of the defense's turn to cross-examine this witness. What's the relevance?
Noted. Same ruling. Witness may answer.
Again, Your Honor,
Was this also part of the revised affidavit of investigation to rectify the defects that we highlighted a while ago?
No, there was no no rectification. There was no defect. Again, this is part of the compliance given us by the Department of Justice for us to comply.
All right, if you want to use that term. So in other words, after you received the Feb 5 certification, this was also one of the documents that you attached to your revised affidavit of investigation. Correct?
I believe so, part of the compliance.
All right.
Sir.
My issue is this. Let me direct your attention to the bottom portion of this affidavit. It says here, in witness hereof, I have, can you zoom that in? I can't read it. The date is February 3, 2025. Can you zoom that in? So in other words, you are trying to convince this court that when you...
What's the question? What's the question?
This is the question. Are you trying to convince this court that you executed this affidavit prior...
Objection, misleading.
He did not execute
did not.
the affidavit.
No, sorry. You attached this affidavit prior to the Feb 5, 2025 certification?
Prior to what, Your Honor? February 10?
Okay. You received a certification on February 5, 2025, correct? And you said that you added affidavits after receipt thereof. Now, you mentioned a while ago that this was one of the affidavits that you added, and yet the date came prior to the DOJ certification dated February 5, 2025. Do you confirm this?
I think ang makakasagot po niyan si Agent Calilong, Your Honor, kasi may mga attachment na kami during the first affidavit na-include na doon sa mga nire-require ng prosecutor na nandun na. And then nung nag-issue ang prosecutor gaya po ng number 2, the press briefing, sige muna. Ito, Your Honor, gaya ng Number one, there is no affidavit of the persons who recorded the video entitled BP November 23 Press Con at Batasan through OBS. When in truth and in fact, kasama ho na and attached na doon yung affidavit of authentication doon sa unang affidavit.
So in other words, you're telling this court that the DOJ made this mistake? That there was no...
Not necessarily, Your Honor. Pwedeng hindi nakita ng prosecutor na naka-attach na yun. Kasi nandun po sa date na January 30 yung execution ng affidavit of authentication.
Your Honor, if before we continue, Your Honor, I'm noticing something, Your Honor, please. The defense is in the process, has been presenting portions of an alleged document, and they're making notes. I don't think that's proper, Your Honor. When you present a document, you present the document as is. You don't make annotations.
Exactly, Your
Note
Honor.
number 2, that's not proper, Your Honor.
We are presenting the actual document and we're confronting it. This is just to address, Your Honor, what was intimated by the senators, that they want to be able to follow the discussion, Your Honor, using the screen.
If I may, my problem with that, Your Honor, please, because it's like you presenting your observation on a document and you're showing that to the court when what you're supposed to do is just to confront this witness with a document without any annotations. That's just my observation, Your Honor.
Noted. Counsel, please proceed. For respondent, please proceed.
Meaning, but if you go to the contents, right, it says here, and let me read, the press briefing conducted on October 18, 2024 was not recorded and or stored in a DVD. No video submitted and there was no TSN of the said briefing. And do you confirm now that this note on Feb 5 was actually addressed by the affidavit submitted by Agent Calilo?
What? Come again, sir?
This note was satisfied by the submission of the affidavit by Agent Calilo.
What affidavit, sir?
The affidavit of transcription dated February 3.
But can I see the affidavit, sir? Para lang sure.
The one that we showed a while ago. It pertains to the same because if you read here, if I may be allowed to read paragraph 1, can you zoom that in? Or no, paragraph 2, it says there, in relation to the ongoing investigation, the undersigned was tasked to transcribe. So this transcribed the screen-recorded video of the press conference of VP Sara on 18 October 2024. So in other words, this was exactly what the DOJ required, correct?
Yeah, base certification na in-issue, ang sabi ng DOJ, the press briefing conducted in October 18, 2024 was not recorded and was stored in a DVD. There was no TSN of the said briefing and the necessary affidavit of the person taking the TSN.
And yet, on its face, this was, because the date is February 3, on its face, this was executed prior to the Feb 5, 2025 certification, which noted this requirement.
As I've said, Your Honor, ang nag-uusap po dyan ang prosecutor at saka si Agent Calilong, may mga attachment ho kasi nung first affidavit na hindi napansin ng prosecutor. So
that's your answer. Okay. So, but the thing is, if I let's go back to the IDF, investigation data form. Now, the docket number that is indicated here is XVI-INV 25C-0008. But in the Feb 5 2025 certification, can we flash that? The docket number is different, appears to be different. It's XVI EVAL-INV-25A-0049. Moreover, in the subsequent DOJ certification dated Feb 14, 2025, the docket number is also XVI.eval-INV-25A-0049. Do you confirm the difference in the docket numbers?
Your Honor, no personal knowledge, and DOJ ho ang naglagay ng docket number na yan.
But do you confirm that it was different? These are all received copies.
Ask and answer, Your Honor, please. Ask and answer, argumentative.
No, the question, the answer is
Ask
not
and answer,
responsive.
counsel. Move on.
So in other words, despite the discrepancy in numbers, you still decided to push through with the case.
What, Your Honor?
Despite the discrepancy in docket numbers, you still decided to push through with the handling of this case, correct?
Again, I cannot confirm on the numbers because it's the DOJ who placed that number, sir. Ulitin ko ho, mas maganda ho tanungin nyo ang Department of Justice, sir. Chan.
But insofar as you are concerned, as you are the complainant in this case, correct? Insofar as you are concerned, what is the correct docket number? Is it the one ending in 0049?
I will now object.
Or
I will now
is it the
object.
one ending in 004? What they used, Your Honor?
I will now object on the ground of misleading. You showed two docket numbers which appear different. And you have yet to establish that there is a wrong one and a correct one. And you have not established that. This witness said he is not aware of that. You have not established that there is something to be corrected. That's why the objection now, Your Honor, please. That's misleading. You assume that something is wrong that has to be corrected. Misleading.
Counsel, witness is not competent to answer your question. He already responded that this is a DOJ format. He is not aware, and that it might be proper to ask the DOJ instead at the proper time. Move on with another point, counsel. I think we've unless there's another inconsistency, you can move on to another inconsistency or another point.
Your Honor, just one last on this point. But in terms of what you followed, because as we know, you submit subsequent pleadings as to these two docket numbers. Which one did you follow? The 00048 or the 0049?
Well, I don't have the record here, Your Honor. If I can check my own record.
Do you have it with
Can
you
you do
now?
that now?
Counsel, can you give him a copy of his record?
Yung full record. Yeah.
The chair finds that relevant because in filing additional pleadings or other materials to the DOJ, they need to indicate the NPS number for reference. So which one are you following? Which one did you follow subsequent to this?
Yes, sir. February. Wala rito ah. Ito ba? Well, wala ho rito, sir. Teka. Ang naalala ko, sir, yung sa investigation data form, dated February 11.
Ano pong nakalagay na NPS docket number doon? Meron po ba?
Yun po, sir, ang hindi ko, Your Honor, hindi ko po ma-confirm kung anong NPS docket number. Ito ba yun? Teka, saan ang NPS ito?
Your Honor, may we just manifest for the record that the witness is perusing the IDF investigation data form that is attached to the articles of impeachment, Annex G9.
So noted.
Well, this is the document from the defense, Your Honor. I cannot confirm, Your Honor. As of the moment, I cannot confirm.
But this is as received, correct? So in other words, you just received the document and you didn't bother to
Argumentative.
to check?
Objection.
Counsel, let him finish, but indeed it is argumentative. Move on to the next question, counsel. With the permission of Senator Judge Tulfo, are you winding up or not yet, Counsel? Not yet?
Far from it, Your Honor.
Then Senator Judge Tulfo is recognized. What is the pleasure of Senator Judge Tulfo?
Just manifestation,
You may proceed, sir.
Presiding Judge. And question as well. Mr. Witness,
You have 2 minutes.
okay. Mr. Witness, a lot of questions were asked to you regarding the filing with the Office of the DOJ, in particular, regarding the docketing, dating, subscription and investigation data form. Now, can you tell this court what exactly is your role and what did you do in relation to the filing of this investigation data form? Ano yung pinaka-role mo talaga dito? Yung papel mo talaga rito?
Yes, Your Honor. I instructed the executive officers as well as the agent on case to file our referral to the Department of Justice. So sila na ho ang nag-ayos niyan, sir, insofar as the investigation data form, insofar as other requirements. Ang instruction ko is comply with the requirement given by the Department of Justice, and then you submit it, and then kung ano yung kanilang guidance, you comply with it.
Okay, Mr. Presiding Judge, in my humble opinion, I think the errors in the investigation data form should be answered by the receiving office, and I think he's not, hindi siya talaga yung dapat sumagot sa mga katanungan na ibinabato sa kanya ngayon. Mukhang hindi siya really that qualified at sumasablay-sablay itong taon to. Thank you.
Noted. Senator Judge Erwin Tulfo, thereafter Senator Judge Alan Cayetano.
Quick question, Mr. Presiding Officer, to the witness and
You
to
have 2
the
minutes, sir.
prosecution or prosecutor here. Mr. Witness, kailan ba talaga finale itong kaso laban kay VP?
Yung una na affidavit po, Your Honor, nag-file kami January 30, if I'm not mistaken.
Taon po, anong taon?
2025, sir.
2025.
And then nag-require po ang Department of Justice ng compliance dahil sabi nga nila nung una na certification insufficient for conduct of preliminary investigation and must be referred for a case build-up. Now, ang ginawa po namin, kinumply po namin yung kanilang mga requirements. And then, come 11 February 2025, niresubmit po namin yung aming affidavit of investigation, Your Honor.
Nasaan na po itong kaso? Naisampa na po ba ng DOJ o hindi pa?
I think ongoing po ang preliminary investigation.
1 year, preliminary. 1 year, over 1 year. January to January is 1, February, March, April, May, June, July. Is that normal for the DOJ to conduct a preliminary about over a year, Mr. Witness?
Di ko po masasagot, sir.
Hindi ninyo
Sorry po.
masagot. Could it be, hindi po kayo nagtatanong sa kanila, Sir, ano problema? Bakit hindi po pa naisasampa sa korte yung aming isinampang kaso dito sa inyo? Hindi po kayo nagtataka?
Ang alam ko, sir, Your Honor.
No, hindi kayo nagtanong po sa kanila kung bakit? May kulang pa po ba DOJ? Ano pong kakulangan?
Pag ang referral po, Your Honor, is nasa DOJ na, hands off na ho kami doon. Sila ho ang magde-decide noon kung paano nila ipaprocess yung dokumento.
Kaya nga, hindi po kayo nagtataka. Hindi kaya, sir, dito sa mga nakita po natin mga ebidensya rito, mukhang sablay-sablay, parang minadali ho ninyo. Ay kaya, nagkakaproblema ho tayo sa mga korte natin na i-dismiss sa mga kaso dahil kulang ang mga dokumento at parang minadali. But nevertheless, you don't have to answer me that. Let me direct my question now to the prosecutors. Mr. Prosecutor,
Yes.
ito po mga ebidensya na nakita ho natin, hindi pa ninyo ni-review na may mga nakita, hindi nyo nakita itong inconsistencies. Doon nga po sa sinasabi ng defense na pinirmahan, sinubscribe, pero mas maaga yung pagtanggap.
Your Honor, as to whether we peruse that, Your Honor, please. Unfortunately, we were not party to the preparation of this.
No, but this was
documents.
submitted
Yes, Your Honor.
as evidence, right?
Yes, Your Honor,
Correct.
please. Yes, Your Honor, please. That's why this
Pero-
witness is more than competent to answer that. But the main point of the prosecution, Your Honor, please, they already filed and complied with these requirements and addressed these defects, if you may, by filing a February 10, 2025 affidavit investigation. That's why, if you have observed our good Senator Judge, we have been objecting as to the relevance of this. Exactly because what is in contention now is the latest affidavit of investigation that is now pending before the DOJ, Your Honor, please.
All right. And just a quick manifestation to the NBI. Mr. Witness, next time po pag nagsampaho kayo ng kaso, make sure, kaya nga I was asking you kanina, I already have this feeling something is wrong dahil sobrang tagal na sa DOJ ng kaso ninyo. There's something wrong with the case. Siguro po, next time, make sure na yung kaso isasampa ninyo is airtight. Tama po. Kasi madidismiss yan. Yung mga kaso na medyo hindi po tight talaga ang kaso. Ano po?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sayang naman yung inyong pinaghirapan. Doon, ang dami natin nakita. Totoo po taglang na nagmura ang vice-presidente, nagbanta ang vice-presidente. Sa ngayon naman po ako, nakita ko naman po yun. Pero pagdating po yan, usually pag sa technicalities tayo nagkakaproblema. Don't forget that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Quick manifestation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Noted, Senator Judge Erwin Tulfo. Senator Judge Alan Cayetano, you have 2 minutes, sir.
Less than 2 minutes, quick clarification lang. So January 30, yung unang affidavit of investigation.
Yes,
Tama?
sir.
January 30, tapos February 5, yun yung sagot ng DOJ na may 7 notes.
Yes, Your Honor.
At February 5, yun din ang filing nung impeachment complaint against against Vice President Sara Duterte. And then, which you said wala kang knowledge doon. I'm just looking at the dates. Then February 10, yung revised na dun sa mga ang ginamit ng DOJ word insufficiency, yung 1 to 7 na punuan, no? Or whatever the term is. So, ang sagot ng witness, sir, sagot mo yung February 3, baka attachment lang kasi nung una yon.
Yes, sir, I think so. Sir.
Pero hindi siya pwedeng attachment nung una kasi January 30 sinubmit yun eh. So, hindi ka naman pwede mag-submit ng January 30 na attachment mo February 3. So, you went 3 days into or 4 days into the future kasi may 31 yung January.
Well, sir, siguro ang makakasagot po niyan si Agent Calilong, sir, since siya ang signatory doon.
I don't think you can answer it. Point ko lang, hindi logical na it was an attachment sa January 30 because wala pang February 3 nun eh. So hindi pwedeng post-dated affidavit. Second question lang, sa parehong investigative affidavit of investigation na sinubmit, walang input doon ang PSG, ISAF, PSC, ISAF, CIDG. So kayo lang yan.
A statement, Your Honor, yung in-attach po namin.
Yes. So what I meant is that questions kanina nung many here, including the Senate President, Win Gatchalian, na did you consult the investigation ng PSC, etc. So nung final nyo to, walang input directly or indirectly ang Presidential Security Command, ang ISAF, ang PNP, CIDG, and anyone else, the National Security Council. So purely NBI to.
No personal knowledge kung merong correspondence ng ibang agency with the director.
Sorry, hindi kayo pwedeng walang personal knowledge kasi ikaw nag-file eh. Ikaw nakapirma dun sa affidavit. So you would know whether dun sa affidavit na yon they had input or not. No
Yes,
one
Your
else
Honor.
could know because you're the one who signed it.
Yes, Your Honor. Insofar as the Cybercrime Division is concerned, kami po yun yung gumawa
Yes.
noon.
So the answer is they had no input.
Hindi ko alam kung... well, insofar as the affidavit is concerned, amin po yun, Your Honor. Now, kung correspondence between other agencies and the NBI, hindi ko na po alam kung may usapan yung
Thank you.
director
Thank you,
at saka ibang
Mr. Presiding Officer. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Judge Cayetano. Senator Judge Ontiveros. Thereafter, Senator Judge Ejercito. Am I correct, JV? Senator Judge Ontiveros is recognized. You may proceed. You have 2 minutes, ma'am.
Salamat po, Mr. Presiding Officer. Less than 2 minutes din po. Attorney Lotok, sa gitna nung DOJ certification dated February 5, 2025 at yung pag-submit nyo ng kompletong affidavit of investigation na tinanggap na ng DOJ, may nagbago po ba sa di umanong sinabi ng Vice Presidente?
Wala po, Your Honor.
Wala. At sa gitna ng DOJ certification dated February 5, 2025 at yung pag-submit nyo ng kompletong affidavit of investigation na tinanggap na ng DOJ, may nagbago po ba sa rekomendasyon ng NBI?
Wala po, Your Honor.
Salamat po, Attorney Lotok. Salamat po, Mr.
Thank you,
Presiding
Senator
Officer.
Judge Ontiveros. Senator Judge Ejercito, you may proceed, sir. When you're ready, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Attorney Lotok, may
Opo, Your Honor.
dagdag clarification lang. The DOJ pointed out in its certification, yung pong pinakita kanina, noong February 5, 2025, that the NBI is not the proper offended party to file a complaint for grave threats and referred its initial referral for case build-up. As a result of the referral for case build-up by the DOJ, did the NBI later submit affidavits or statements from the offended parties, namely si Presidente Marcos, First Lady, at si former Speaker Martin Romualdez?
Hindi na po, Your Honor. Nung sinabit ho namin yung aming referral, yun po yung last phase ng investigation. And I think yung prosecutor na ho mag-i-issue ng summon sa mga parties involved. Ang purpose lang ho namin to comply with the requirements of preliminary investigation po.
But earlier sa inyo pong statement, sinabi nyo na ang isa sa mga factors no sa pag-evaluate ng threat, if it is really serious, is through determination of the relationship no between the parties. Sinabi nyo po yun kanina.
Yes po, Your Honor.
So did you try at least to get the statements of the President, the First Lady, or the House of or the Speaker of the House, former Speaker?
Ang pinagbasihan po namin, Your Honor, yung official statement nila dun sa website ng Presidential Communications Office, and then yung public statement ng former Speaker during the plenary session on November 25, 2024, sir.
So that was the basis yung pong nasa PCO website. So you did not bother to get the statements from the offended parties?
I think nung nakita ko namin yung video na nag-issue ng statement yung presidente, na-establish namin yung requirement kung ano yung treatment ng presidente nung marinig niya yung utterances ng vice presidente. So, nung nakita namin yon na may reaksyon, ang sabi nga niya is nakakabahala. Based sa aming primary jurisdiction, nag-start to kami ng investigation, sir.
Kanina rin, tinanong ko yung tungkol doon sa revised affidavit of investigation, no? Which you submitted after the DOJ referred to the case for case build-up in its certification doon nga sa February 5, 2025. You mentioned that is just a compliance on the part of the NBI.
Your Honor, ito ho yung part ng evaluation at saka case build-up process. Pag nakita ho ng prosecutor na may kulang pang mga attachment para ho mabuo, maging pulido yung kaso, nagbibigay ho sila ng mga requirement. O NBI, kulang ka nito, i-comply mo to para maidakit natin sa preliminary investigation.
So normal lang po yun, no? Sa investigation agency na magsabit additional evidence or revise the affidavits after the case is referred back by the DOJ for case build-up.
As part po ng evaluation at case build-up process, nagtutulungan ho dyan, Your Honor, yung prosecutor and then yung investigator base doon sa requirement ng DC-15, Your Honor.
You mentioned that, last point, Mr. Presiding Officer, you mentioned that the case before the DOJ is still ongoing.
Yes po.
So as of today, Attorney Lotok, there is still no determination by the DOJ if the case referred by the NBI should be filed in court because there is prima facie evidence of reasonable certainty of conviction.
Well, Your Honor, wala po kaming nare-receive na any updates from the Department of Justice. Ang alam po namin is nasa PI pa ho siya, preliminary investigation process, Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney Lotok. Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you po, Your Honor.
Noted and entered into the records. Attorney Binluan, you may continue with your cross.
Your Honor, I believe that there's a hanging question. Insofar as the NBI is concerned, what docket number did they follow? 00048 or 0049?
What's the response of the witness if he knows?
Your Honor, I don't have the complete affidavit. So I cannot confirm, sir.
So you do not know what NPS docket number the NBI is using whenever it files subsequent pleadings to the NBI to the DOJ regarding this case?
Definitely there is that IDF, there is that NPS. Hindi ko lang po, Your Honor, ma-ensure kung anong NPS number po yon.
Ang ginagamit ninyo?
Ang ginamit. Pero nandoon po yon, Your Honor. Naka-attach po yon sa affidavit of investigation.
Proceed, counsel.
So you cannot confirm which between the two.
As of the moment, hindi ko po hawak yung...
Yeah, but what if we show you, as I said, what if we show you the certification dated February, two certification, can you be guided?
Ask and answer, Your Honor.
Counsel, he already looked at the documents earlier before the senator judges intervened, and he couldn't. Mr. Witness, Mr. Attorney Lotok, what document did you peruse earlier? The annex to the impeachment complaint, right?
Annex to the...
That was the document shown to you by counsel for the respondent earlier.
Yes, Your Honor.
Upon your perusal of that document, can you say what the NPS docket number is that NBI uses?
Your Honor, isa lang ho ang nandito na IDF. So isa lang yun nandito, Your Honor. Hindi ko makita yung isa pa. Ang nandito na naka-attach na IDF is yung 11 February 2025. So kung ito ho ang tinutukoy, ang nakasulat rito na NPS docket number 16-INV-25C-00048, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the certifications, the two certification also has docket numbers. Can we just ask him to peruse this so that he can make up his mind which of the two docket numbers they followed?
Then confront him with the document, counsel.
Your Honor,
what is your co-counsel showing him?
We are showing the document February 5 and February 14, which as I mentioned, contains 0049 as the ending docket number. Maybe just know, Your Honor, if that was the docket number that was followed by the NBI following the filing.
Counsel, before you answer, Attorney Loto, counsel, the first form, can you bring it up again? That's not an investigation form, right? That's a DOJ form.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, this is a receiving copy, Your Honor, because all of these were subpoenaed again from the NBI but not from the DOJ. So these were transmitted to the House Committee on Justice by subpoena. So
By who? The NBI?
Submitted by the NBI. That's correct, Your Honor. And this was the basis that was used by the House Committee on Justice in filing the articles of impeachment before this impeachment court. So in other words, Your Honor, the agencies involved herein are just four: the DOJ, the NBI, the House Committee on Justice, and the Senate. And the line of questioning is very simple. We want to get to know to the bottom of the truth, were these documents altered? If at all.
There's no basis for saying it's altered. Counsel, Attorney Lotok, what is your observation?
Yes, Your Honor. Isa lang ho yung nandito na IDF. Uulitin ko po, Your Honor, mayroon na ho ditong NPS docket number at yung date po is 11 February 2025, sir.
At yung isa,
Yung isa, yung sa certification, Your Honor, yung
hindi siya IDF.
hindi siya IDF.
That's
sir.
what I was asking about earlier.
So, ang certification no ang pinapakita sa akin, Your Honor. Hindi po IDF na isa.
We're trying to show the Feb 14, the latest certification for the revised affidavit of investigation, Your Honor.
So
Did you follow that docket number? Considering that, according to you, that is the latest certification that you received from the DOJ.
Your Honor, yung nandito na pinapakita sa akin is yung certification from the DOJ 05 February 2025 and investigation data form dated February 11, 2025.
So which is which, Attorney Lotok? Is it 00049 or 48? The earlier one or the late?
I have here the second second certification from the DOJ, which says sufficient for conduct of preliminary investigation. Reference number 16 -eval-inv 25A-00049, sir.
So the 49 is the latest one and is thus valid. Is
Yeah,
that
I
what
believe
you're
so.
saying?
Ito yung may sufficient for
All right. Okay. Now, let me direct your attention to the subpoena issued against the Vice President on April 29, 2025. This is the subpoena. And the issue is that the docket number is 0048. In other words, the VP Sara was made to answer to the earlier case that was docketed as such. Do you confirm this? You were part of this, correct? As the complainant.
Your Honor, can I object now, Your Honor, please? If I may, Your Honor, please.
What's the objection?
If I may, I will explain.
May-
Your Honor, I would like to object, Your Honor, please. This witness is incompetent because he is now being confronted with docket numbers supplied by agencies other than him.
If he knows, Your Honor,
That's
he was
exactly-
the complainant. Your Honor, he
Counsel-
was the supervising agent. It says
Counsel,
there
this is a
complaint-
DOJ document. Objection is sustained. Witness is not competent to answer these questions. You can call your witness to testify as to these documents belonging to the DOJ. Kindly move on, counsel. We've been at this for quite some time.
I'll move on. My next question is, the NBI's own evaluation is merely recommendatory in nature, correct?
yes, Your Honor, recommendation.
Okay. It is not binding upon the DOJ, correct?
The DOJ will assess, Your Honor, and evaluate.
All right.
the
But it's not
recommendation.
binding upon the DOJ.
No,
Kindly
the-
answer the question,
All right.
Attorney Lotok. You're a lawyer. You know the answer to this question.
yes, sir.
It's not binding upon the courts, correct?
If the DOJ
Your
report-
recommendation, it's not binding upon the courts, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So in Filipino, para maintindihan ng lahat, kahit sabihin ng NBI,
Ask and answered, Your Honor. Ask and answered.
Kahit
He's just
sabihin ng
translating
NBI na
into
may grave-
objection.
The
He's just translating
the question
into,
is not yet.
but the same question.
All right. Kahit sabihin ng NBI na may grave threats or inciting to sedition, it is not binding upon the DOJ, correct?
Ask and answered.
The question earlier was with respect to the courts.
Correct, Your Honor.
Insofar as the DOJ is concerned, Mr. Witness.
Insofar as the DOJ is concerned, the DOJ will evaluate and pag kulang pa ho yung mga
The
requirement,
question is are your findings binding on the DOJ?
not necessary, Your Honor.
So no.
No. All right. So in other words, rekomendasyon lang ang kayang ibigay ng NBI, correct?
Ask and answered.
Asked and answered,
all right.
counsel.
In fact, you attended hearings before the House Committee on Justice in April of this year, correct?
I think so. Nag-appear ako.
You
Hindi ko lang
appeared,
sigurado
okay.
kung anong date yun.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would like to object to this, Your Honor, please. Your Honor, This
Asked and
witness is-
answered, Your Honor.
No, wait.
Can I
wait.
move on
He's
to
being
a new point?
confronted
Counsel,
with.
kindly wait for the
No,
counsel.
this
for
is
the
highly
prosecutor.
improper. This could fly if this is a committee of justice hearing, but this, with all due respect, is still a court of law. You cannot present clippings like that and confront the witness with that. That's not proper. You should be presenting documents. You cannot do props. Your Honor, please, this is highly irregular. Ask questions. Elicit facts from this witness. Don't use props.
Can I get a ruling on that, Your Honor? Because this
Counsel
is for the purpose of...
is not yet
Correct.
asking any question. He's just laying the basis by asking if he attended previous hearings in the House to test the credibility, perhaps to elicit either contradictory statements or confirmatory statements. Counsel, please proceed.
And one of the committee members there, I think it was Representative Sendanya, even asked for the elements of inciting to sedition. Do you recall that?
I think so, sir.
He also asked for the elements of grave threats, correct?
Yeah, if I remember it right, wala akong, hindi ho ako ang tinanong yata.
All right.
Sir.
It was another person, but also from the NBI, correct?
I think so, sir.
All right. And the NBI explained the elements of these felonies during that hearing, correct?
Hindi ho ako ang nag-explain noon.
But
sir.
another person from the NBI did, and you were present, correct?
I think so, sir.
In fact, Representative Luistro even asked that the salient portions of your affidavit of investigation be flashed on the screen during that hearing, correct? If you can recall.
Siguro, Your Honor, pero di ko maalala.
You're not sure. Okay, that's okay. And when asked whether VP Sara's acts constituted grave threats and inciting to sedition, the NBI answered in the affirmative, correct?
I think so, sir.
Okay. Now, my next question is very simple. Did the NBI at any point in that hearing clarify with the House Committee on Justice and the Filipino people watching then that its own evaluation is not binding upon the DOJ? Did you clarify?
I don't think wala akong tanong na ganon sa amin, sir.
So you were not able to clarify that, correct?
Wala ako kasing tanong.
Okay.
Anong ika-clarify ko,
Okay.
sir?
So you were not given an opportunity to clarify
Ask
that
ka na,
your
sir.
own evaluation, this is a different question. Wait for the question. That is not binding upon the courts. So was there an opportunity for you to explain that it was not binding upon the courts?
Wala akong question doon
All
sa
right.
amin, sir.
So in other words, there was no opportunity in that hearing to clarify that your evaluation was mere recommendatory.
Ask and answer, Your Honor, please. 4 times over.
No, the first
Same
question was
point.
binding upon the DOJ. The next question is binding upon the courts. The next question is the nature of the recommendation. Did you clarify at any point in that hearing that your recommendation was merely recommendatory?
The question was, did they clarify or not? Answer kindly, Attorney Latok.
Wala pong question sa amin na ganon, sir. So, wala akong kaming na-clarify doon.
Very well. Let's do that now. For the benefit of this honorable court and the Filipino people watching, when the NBI evaluated VP Sara's acts to be grave threats or inciting to sedition, is that binding upon the DOJ?
Your Honor, asked and answered. This is now
Counsel-
the third cycle.
Already asked and answered several times.
I'll move on, Your Honor. Will you agree with me that according to our laws, the authority to determine guilt or innocence of a person lies with the courts,
Yes, sir.
not with the DOJ,
Yes, sir.
not with the NBI?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor,
Sir-
I will now object now, Your Honor, please.
Your
if
Honor,
I may
he's
explain,
competent
Your Honor,
enough to answer. Your Honor, he already
may
answered.
Counsel, kindly settle down. I know it's late and I know both parties are
Can
tired.
I-
Kindly wait for the chair to recognize you before speaking.
If I may be recognized, Your
Yes,
Honor, please. I am
Attorney
now
Ligutan.
objecting on the ground of relevance of this series of questions. The defense might forget that we are an impeachment court. Okay? And whatever the DOJ may rule on, whatever the court may rule on, the same complaints filed by the NBI against the Vice President, it has no bearing to these impeachment complaints. What I'm saying is, the issues in this case, the question is, did the Vice President betray public trusts? When she declared before the public that she already contracted a
Your Honor,
person...
objection, I'm on cross, Your Honor.
I'm
This is
yet
not the
done.
proper venue for
I
any
was-
manifestation on the part of the prosecution.
Let the counsel finish. Kindly state your objection, counsel.
Relevance, exactly, Your Honor, please. As to what the court will do, as to what the DOJ will do on the complaints filed by the DOJ, by the NBI, they have nothing to do with the issue in this case. The question is whether the Vice President betrayed public trust by contracting an assassin to kill the President, the Vice President, to kill the President, the First Lady, and the former
Objection
State
again,
House.
Your Honor. It's not the
Irrelevance, Your Honor,
proper-
please. Irrelevance.
Counsel, you know what you're doing as well. So kindly limit it to your objection.
Irrelevance, Your Honor, please.
Counsel for the respondent, the court gets it. Okay, you don't have to spend that much time on this matter. The court gets it, and I think the senator judges are well aware of the limitations of the power of the NBI and the DOJ, as well as the power of the court to decide on the innocence or guilt of the parties. You've established that point. Move on.
In other words, it is only the proper courts that can determine the guilt or innocence of VP Sara in terms of
Same.
grave threats or inciting to
Counsel,
sedition. It's a direct question, Your Honor.
Counsel, all asked and answered. Kindly move on. Kindly move on, counsel. Again, the court gets it. I think the senator judges get it as well as the people who are listening.
All right. My question is this. Are you aware of any final verdict by any court that VP Sara is
Same.
guilty?
Same, Your Honor. Same.
If he is aware.
Witness will answer if he knows.
Well, insofar as the NBI Cybercrime Division is concerned, during that time, I'm not aware.
So, insofar as this case is concerned, no final verdict yet.
I don't know, Your Honor. I don't know. Insofar as the investigation of the NBI is concerned, no personal knowledge.
All right. Now, let me move on to a new point. Do you know what motu proprio means?
Yes, Your Honor.
Motu proprio means on your own or out of your own initiative, correct?
Yes, sir.
Sa madaling salita, voluntary.
Not really, sir.
Oh, not really. Wala nag-utos.
Under the law, we acted based on the law, sir. Because it is our primary jurisdiction to undertake investigation should there be a threat against the security or assault against the person of the President, the Vice President, the Senate President, the Speaker of the House, and the Chief Justice.
Very well. Now, my question is this. Insofar as this case is concerned, did the NBI conduct an investigation motu proprio?
Yes, Your Honor. The fact, kanino ho, Your Honor, yung sinatanong nyo? Conduct an investigation, kanino po?
Insofar as this case is concerned, did you conduct a case motu proprio?
Your Honor, the NBI conducted an investigation motu proprio on November 23, 2024. And on that same date, Your Honor, the Department of Justice directed the NBI to conduct an investigation on the matter.
So, partly motu proprio, partly directed by the DOJ. Is that what you're saying?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. With or without the directive from the DOJ, the NBI has primary jurisdiction on that case, and therefore we can investigate on that particular case.
Yeah, but a while ago, during your direct examination, you admitted that the DOJ secretary directed you, correct?
During that day, yes, sir. After na ma-instruct ako ng direktor na mag-imbestiga, then thereafter, the Department of Justice directed the NBI na mag-conduct ng investigation.
And did you follow that directive?
Well, it's the Department of Justice. Why should not I follow, sir?
Aren't you an independent body?
Well, Your Honor, under the law, Republic Act 10867, it states there that the Department of Justice can direct the NBI to conduct any investigation when the public interest so requires, sir.
Okay, so the NBI is under the DOJ, correct?
Definitely, sir.
And the DOJ is under the Office of the President, correct?
Yes, sir, under the executive branch, sir.
Meaning the Secretary of the DOJ is under the Office of the President, correct?
No question to that, sir.
No question. So BBM has control over both the NBI and the DOJ, correct?
What do you mean by control, sir?
What's your interpretation of control? You seem to be a smart man.
The Department of Justice and the Office of the President, insofar as the function of the NBI is concerned, hindi ho sila nakikialam doon. Kung ano ho yung findings ng NBI, kung ano ang recommendation, sinasubmit po namin ito sa Department of Justice. And then yung Department of Justice, i-weigh po nila, i-evaluate po nila, and then mag-undergo ng process ng case build-up. Yun ho ang patunay na yung una naming sinubmit, hindi tinanggap ng Department of Justice, meaning ang Department of Justice, pag nakita niya na hindi tama o kulang yung requirement ng NBI, hindi niya ito kararakang tatanggapin, Your Honor. That's why, insofar as the DC-15 is concerned, nag-require sila ng mga i-comply namin, and then nag-comply kami. That's the time ni-receive ng Department of Justice yung aming referral.
Oh, very well. Just to help you answer, I'll ask a more pointed question. At the time the investigation against VP Sara was being conducted, did BBM had control over the NBI or DOJ?
At the time the investigation?
Yes.
Well, being the head of the executive branch, sir, yes, the president is the head of the whole of the executive branch, sir.
Very well. Did BBM at any point intervene in this investigation?
Of course not, sir.
Of course not. So did you just admit to this court that there was no participation on the part of BBM?
Again, the purpose of the submission of the affidavit is
No,
for
the
preliminary
question is very
investigation,
simple.
sir.
Witness answer.
Can we ask Your Honor
the
that
witness to answer? Witness is in the process.
The purpose of the referral that we submitted to the Department of Justice is for the purpose of preliminary investigation, which under the new rules of the NPS, pwede ho ang law enforcement agency na mag-submit ng complaint affidavit kahit wala yung affidavit ng complainant for purposes of preliminary investigation. So the complaint from the President is not an indispensable requirement insofar as the preliminary investigation is concerned by the DOJ, sir.
So let me clarify. You received instructions to conduct an investigation against VP Sara from the DOJ, which is under the Office of the President, and the investigation, in that investigation, BBM was allegedly one of the offended parties.
Again, Your Honor, hindi ho ako nakatanggap ng
Wait,
direktiba.
there's no question yet. There's no question yet. And yet, BBM has control over both the NBA and the DOJ.
Your Honor,
Is that a fair summation?
Your Honor, now, I will not object now. Ask and answer. Same point, Your Honor, please. Many times over. Control of the President over the DOJ, control of the DOJ over the NBI. Ask and answer many times over.
Considering the structure involving the NBI, the DOJ, and the Office of the President, don't you think that there was bias against VP Sara?
Ooh. I will allow that. I will not object, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Counsel again, kindly wait for the presiding officer to recognize you. Witness may answer.
Our investigation, Your Honor, is evidence-based. Nung pinag-usapan ho namin ito, nung ina-analyze ho namin ito, nung nag-follow kami ng mga phases at analysis, we believe and we agree that among ourselves na buo ang ebidensya, kompleto ang ebidensya, na comply natin yung requirement ng prima facie case with reasonable certainty of conviction. And so sinubmit ho namin yan sa DOJ na ang paniwala po namin ay kompleto ho at na-comply namin yung requirement.
All right. Either way,
ng kaso.
Okay. Either way, the NBI can initiate its own investigation when necessary, correct?
The NBI can initiate its own investigation.
In fact, you mentioned RA 10867, correct?
Yes, sir.
And please allow me to read Section 5G thereof. It says, cases involving threats to security or assaults against the President, the Vice President, Senate President, Speaker of the House of Representatives, and Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. You confirm this, correct?
Yes, sir.
My next question to you is this. while you conducted a motu proprio investigation to help BBM, FL, and the former speaker, did you also conduct a motu proprio investigation to help VP Sara?
Yes, Your Honor. The fact that we sent a December 2, 2024 letter, we informed the Vice President na iniimbestigahan din namin yung alleged threat laban sa kanya. So kailangan namin makakuha ng valid information, confirmed data or any apparent violation of our revised penal code or any special law. Yung ang purpose ng letter namin, Your Honor, to inform the Vice President na iniimbestigahan din namin yung alleged threat laban
Your
sa
Honor,
kanya.
it's a yes or no answer. Can we ask the...
Mr. Witness, Attorney Lotok, this is the second time you've mentioned your December 2 subpoena. So the curiosity of the presiding officer has been picked. In your subpoena of December 2, you issued a subpoena to the Vice President for evidence in a certain investigation. No mention was made of either the investigation pertaining to threats against the President or even threats against the Vice President. But it's the second time you've mentioned that the intent of this one is for the threat against the Vice President. What is your basis, sir, when the subpoena does not contain such a specification of the evidence you will obtain from her?
Your Honor, yung subpoena, nakafocus po yan doon sa investigation namin on the alleged grave threats at inciting to sedition during that time. Yung investigation naman, insofar as the Vice President threat to her life is concerned, meron no kaming separate na letter nung December 2.
Hindi subpoena, letter.
Letter po.
Do we have that on file or on record
Yes, sir.
somewhere?
Yes, Your Honor. It was
Is it the pre-marked
Perfect.
marked during trial or earlier, Your Honor,
by Agent Calilong?
by this witness, Attorney Lotok. That would be P dash Roman numeral 4-5, identified by the witness earlier, Your Honor, please.
P-4-5,
Dash 4-5.
Oh, mami.
addressed to Attorney Lim? Attorney Lotok?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor? Your Honor, I have questions relating to that, Your Honor. Can we...
Just to clarify from the witness, are you referring, Attorney Lotok, to the letter addressed to Attorney Lim, signed by Assistant Director Ricarte?
Yes, Your Honor. Assistant Director.
This is the one that's referring to the alleged attempt of NBI to investigate the threats against the Vice President.
Yes po, Your Honor.
Okay. Counsel, you may proceed.
All right. In fact, since we're on the topic, let me direct your attention to that NBI letter issued by Glenn Ricarte dated December 2, 2024. Again, for the perusal of the Senator Judges, this is pages 155 to 158 of the AOI's Annex G9. You confirm this? That this was sent out to the Vice President?
This is, we have this document, Your Honor, signed by AD Glenn Ricarte, dated 02 December 2024.
All right. And
Sir.
do you confirm that the date is December 2, 2024?
Based on this document, sir, yes.
All right. Let me read, and read with me, please, the last two paragraphs. And I'll try to be very clear. It says here, we are hoping that we have assisted you properly. Can we flash that, please? Baba pa. Yan, sa baba. Yeah, we are hoping that we have assisted you properly. We would be grateful if the Vice President will visit the NBI and participate on the ongoing investigation. As the schedule of her appearance, she is anticipated to appear on, can you read the date, please?
11 November 2024 at 10 a.m. at the Office of the Director, National Bureau of Investigation.
So you provided the date, you provided the time and the place where VP Sara is supposed to appear, correct?
Your Honor, this
So
is
the answer is very
since
simple. Just ask
ang
it.
nakasign po rito yung assistant director and wala akong personal knowledge. I think this is typo kasi nga nag-reply ang lawyer ng Vice Presidente.
Attorney Lotok, either you have personal knowledge or not, but neither can you say typo. If you don't have personal knowledge, you cannot say typo.
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry, Your Honor.
So which is it?
I believe
So you don't have personal
I don't have
knowledge?
personal knowledge, Your Honor. Hindi po ako ang
Okay.
sumulat sa letter na to.
Okay.
Again, Your Honor, this is an attachment of the affiant's or the witness's own affidavit of investigation. I understand, Your Honor, and he has been very repetitive on this, that there are documents there that he did not sign. But when you attach something to your own affidavit, Your Honor, you're supposed to at least review them. And clearly, he did not review, and he's even the head. He mentioned that he's the supervisor.
Objection.
Now, my
Your
next
Honor.
question is
Objection. Laying a value to the testimony of the witness. That's improper. You ask him questions. Don't add value.
Kindly
Don't add
ask
value.
a question, counsel.
You stated a while ago that the reason why you did not pursue VP Sara's investigation in order to help her was because of her non-appearance, correct?
We issued 2 subpoenas. The first one, and then
No, I'm not asking
we give her a
you.
chance again to give us information, and then she did not appear for the second time, sir.
But you said the second one was not a subpoena, it was a letter, correct?
Well, the letter is the basis that we conducted motu proprio investigation on the alleged threat against the Vice President. The purpose of the 2 subpoena is also base sa usapan namin ng then Director Jaime B. Santiago. Pag nag-appear ang Vice Presidente, tatanungin din po ng Director namin, Ma'am, pwede mo bang i-share sa amin ano yung threat sa life mo? Baka meron kang information na pwede namin pagsimulan.
Counsel, allow the presiding officer. Sir, you referred to the letter and the subpoena. As I pointed out earlier, the subpoena does not make mention that you're asking for evidence about the threats against the Vice President. You just said in your subpoena for information regarding what is under investigation by your office. Now, in this letter that you referred to, signed by Assistant Director Duterte,
Yes, sir.
nowhere can
Okay.
I find that you're asking the Vice President information about the threat against her. You quoted several instances about the Vice President's statement against the President, but I cannot see a reference to the threat against the Vice President. Now you're telling me again that you intended to ask her when she comes.
But if I may answer po, Your
Of
Honor.
course, sir, please.
Thank you. Yes, Your Honor. Kung pwede ko pong basahin.
Please, sir. Kindly guide us po.
Quote, this Bureau wishes her well, and we would acknowledge if she can find a convenient time to visit the NBI, since according to her, she received threats on her life as well. As part of its mandate, the NBI would like to inform her that we are also investigating on the said threats. Her appearance to the NBI will aid us in the expeditious investigation on the said threats, Your Honor.
And then this is the basis for the issuance of your 2 subpoenas against her.
Hindi po. Ang dalawang subpoena, Your Honor, is para dun ho sa grave threats and inciting to sedition.
Para doon na po.
Opo. Yun po yung purpose ng dalawang subpoena.
Letter lang yung sa kanya tungkol sa threat sa kanya.
Yes po, Your Honor. Letter lang
Bagaman
sa
sa
kanya.
sulat na to, binanggit nyo rin yung threat niya laban sa Pangulo. O ibang sulat po yun?
Your Honor, in-explain ho namin dito kasi doon ho sa may letter ho na sinubmit ang lawyer ni VP, nagtatanong ho siya kung pwedeng makakuha ng copy ng complaint. And then kung ano yung mga itinatanong at itatanong ng NBI sa kanya, in-explain ho dito sa letter na to kung ano yung nature ng complaint.
Yung mga allegation laban sa kanya.
Opo, Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney Lotok. Counsel, you may proceed.
But the long and short of it, in that December 2024 letter, you provided a November schedule, correct?
Again, I cannot answer to that. Ang Ang signatory ho ang makakasagot, sir.
So in other words, she could not have attended that November 11, 2024 because as of the date of the letter, it was already December 2, 2024, correct?
Well, Your Honor, yung second letter na sinubmit ng lawyer niya, ang sabi nila doon, the Vice President is confident that the NBI will conduct an investigation on the alleged threat against her life.
Yeah, but despite this error, do you still maintain that the investigation that you conducted was thorough? You used that word a while ago.
Investigation on the alleged threat against the Vice
Correct.
President? We are looking, Your Honor, for a validated information, confirmed information para ho meron kaming pagsimulan. But insofar as my office is concerned, since hindi na ho ako may hawak dyan, baka ho merong ibang tinask ang aming director para dyan, sir.
So as early as December 2, 2024, the NBI has been investigating regarding the threats against VP Sara. Correct?
When we issued the first subpoena and then when we issued the letter dated 02 December 2024, ang intention ho namin noon, i-inform namin siya na nag-iimbestiga din kami, ma'am. Kaya lang, kailangan ho namin ng valid at validated information para ho mapagsimulan namin.
Mali lang yung schedule na nabigay doon sa Vice
Again,
President.
wala akong personal knowledge doon sa scheduling, sir.
Oh no, after more than 1.5 years of investigation, has the NBI come up with a recommendation?
Ask and answered, Your Honor. Ask and answered. Kanina pa.
No. Recommendation on the threats
may
against
answer.
VP Sara.
Witness may answer.
Withdrawn.
This is the investigation pertaining to the threats against the Vice President's life.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Again, since wala ho kaming validated information, wala ho kaming nakitang confirmed doon sa allegation, threats against her life, wala ho kaming mapagsimulan, sir.
So no, that's okay. Meron din bang affidavit of investigation para kay VP Sara, gaya ng ginawa ng NBI para kay BBM, FL at former speaker?
Since wala ho pa kaming validated information, wala ho kaming mapagsimulan.
So in other words, meron para kay BBM,
Objection.
FL, at there's no question yet, Your Honor.
Yes.
At former speaker, pero wala kay VP Sara.
Argumentative, Your Honor. Argumentative.
That's a factual question, Your Honor.
Ask and answered.
Move
Okay.
on, counsel.
If no affidavit of investigation, is there any written report on that investigation?
Anong investigation po, Your Honor?
Yung against VP Sara. May written report man lang ba?
Well, ang makakaalam ho niyan, yung aming intelligence service, sila ho ang may pull up information from different offices.
But as far as you know, wala pang written report on this?
Well, during that time, so far as the cybercrime investigation is concerned, wala akong nakita na gano'n, sir.
Wala pa.
Nung time na yon,
alright.
sir.
In other words, since wala pang written report, wala pa ring opportunity si VP Sara to supplement any report that you have prepared.
Again, wala akong idea kung mayroon ng written report ang aming intelligence service. Ang alam ko, kung ano lang yung nangyari during nung investigation namin, cybercrime investigation, cybercrime division investigation.
All right, I'll move on to a new point. Now, as an investigating body, the NBI is called to be impartial, correct?
Yes, sir.
Meaning you have to evaluate both sides, not just one side, correct?
What do you mean both sides?
The
sir?
offending party side and the offended party side.
Yes, sir.
All right. In other words, you evaluate the side of the complainant and you also evaluate the side of the respondent, correct?
Evaluate the side of the complainant. Yes, sir.
So did the NBI do that in its investigation insofar as the case against VP Sara?
Precisely, Your Honor, the reason why we issued a letter dated December 2, 2024
All right.
is to elicit information from the Vice President herself kung meron po bang validated information
Okay.
or to ask her kung sakaling nag-appear siya, ma'am, baka meron kang pwedeng pagsimulan namin. But again, kahit representative, wala akong may dumating sa amin na magbibigay sa amin ng impormasyon para pagsimulan ng investigasyon.
Yeah, but didn't the counsel appear? So she participated through counsel, correct?
The council, Your Honor, only stated na yung threat is, again, yung 6 months ago na nung conduct ho kami ng open source investigation, wala ho kaming nakitang validated talaga, sir. Eh. So wala kami mapagsimulan. Saan kami magsisimula doon?
Okay. So, to enlighten this honorable court of what really happened during your investigation, you issued subpoenas, correct?
We issued subpoenas, sir, yes.
And several people participated, correct?
Media personalities.
Yes, I will go to that. I'll just answer the question first, yes or no. At least 4 people, correct?
We issued subpoena, yes, sir.
Reyes of Philippine Daily Inquirer attended with counsel. You confirm this?
I think so, sir.
Mendoza of Manila Times also attended with counsel.
It was reported to
I
think Magsambol and Reyes. Yun yung report sa akin ni Agent Kalilong, sir.
How about Rubrico of SMNI?
Yeah, yung 6 ho na yan, as far as I know, na issue namin ng subpoena, I think yung iba dyan, hindi ho nag-appear kasi yung isa nasa China, meron siyang parang
I'm not asking about those. I'm just asking about the people that participated.
Counsel, witness is in the process of answering. Let him finish. Are you done, Attorney Lotok?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and these people were interviewed by NBI agents, correct?
By NBI agents, sir.
Okay, the NBI agents included Kalilong, correct?
Yes, sir.
For Magsambol and Reyes, Geran, for Mendoza?
Yes, sir. I think.
All right. But Asuncion for Rubrico, correct?
Yes, Asuncion also.
All right. And the Q&A was recorded, correct?
Yeah. I think may transcript yata.
All right. Very well. After the interviews, the NBI agents executed affidavits, correct?
Yes, sir.
Attesting to the interviews conducted.
Yes, sir.
Let's go through the minutes of the meeting attached to the affidavit of investigation. There were 4 sets of minutes of the meeting, correct? 1 for Reyes, 1 for Mendoza, 1 for Magsambol, and 1 for Rubrico. Do you confirm this?
May I check first the document, sir?
Your Honor, may we ask, Your Honor, that my co-counsel confronts the witness, not the prosecution's counsel. This is our turn, Your Honor. And we want to use the official copy, which is the the impeachment court's copy, Your Honor. So we don't know what copy the prosecution's lawyer is confronting the witness with.
Counsel will please comply.
All right. So minutes of the meeting. So there were 4 sets, 1 for Reyes, 1 for Mendoza, 1 for Magsambol, and 1 for Rubrico. Now, based on the minutes of the meeting...
May I check first, sir?
Okay, go ahead.
Reyes. Yeah, them si Reyes. Leave them si Reyes. This is Mendoza. Yes. This is Magsambol. Magsambol.
I'll wait for him.
Rubrico. Yeah, I think up to Rubrico, sir.
All right. So, you confirmed that there was a Q&A?
There is Q&A.
Okay. And then, konti lang yung mga tanong nyo. Actually, not more than 20 questions per interviewee, correct?
20 questions. Sir.
All right. And how long did the interviews last, if you know?
I think ang report sa akin nag-appear sila, nag-participate sila sa interview, but dun sa timeline, no personal knowledge, sir.
All right.
Makakasagot nito yung mismo yung nag-interview, sir.
Okay, but in that interview, they were asked about their personal knowledge on the November 23, 2024 press con, correct?
Yeah, the question was where were you on 23 November
Just
2024?
a yes or no will
at
do.
about 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. sir.
Yes, your answer is yes.
Yeah, there is that
Okay.
question. Sir.
Now, during this interview, according to the minutes also that you're now perusing, a video of the press con was shown, correct?
Yes, it says here, is that Zoom meeting the one in the video?
Okay.
At this juncture, the agent showed the video.
Attorney
dated
Lotok,
23.
kindly just answer yes to abbreviate the proceedings
Yes,
or no.
yes, sir.
If
Okay,
you
my
don't
question is this. Did the NBI show the entire video to the interviewee or just portions thereof?
Ang makakasagot ho niyan, Your Honor, yung
If you
naganda
know.
po ng interview.
If you know.
I'm not sure, sir.
Didn't you provide instructions to the NBI agents regarding the showing of the video?
Well, the instruction is whether or not nandun ba sila nung nangyari yung press conference nung November 23.
Yeah, but will you agree with me that for the investigation to be impartial, the NBI should have shown the entire video and not just certain portions thereof?
That I cannot answer kung pinakita nila yung buong video. Ang instruction ko, Your Honor, part ng investigation is to ask them kung nag-participate sila, kung may personal knowledge sila during the online press conference of the November 23, 2024.
All right, but let me direct your attention to page 189 also of Annex G9. This pertains to the minutes of the meeting of Kalilong. If we can flash that on the screen and if my co-counsel can confront the witness. It says here, and I want to read, in the top portion it states 1024H and 1057H, December 4, 2024. 2020 here. Meaning, the interview took place on December 4 from 10:24 to 10:57 a.m. Is that correct? Military time.
Well, it appears in that document, sir.
All right. So in other words, 23 minutes lang yung interview.
Based on that document, sir.
O hindi nyo talaga mapapakita yung whole video, correct?
Based on that document, kung ganyan lang yung timeline niya, yes, Your Honor, hindi.
Kasi 2 hours mahigit yung video ni VP Sara, correct?
Yes,
Ask
sir.
and answer, Your Honor. Ask and answer.
I'm just
Many times
emphasizing
over.
the time, Your Honor.
Kaya nga, objection
Move on,
eh.
counsel.
That's why...
Senator Judge Soto is recognized. What is your pleasure, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer, Mr. President. To satisfy the curiosity of our group here, we were asking each other, why did you invite these 4 media personalities?
Yes, Your Honor, because they were there based on our investigation.
They were there in the press con.
Yes, sir, they
The
participated.
whole press con.
The whole press con, sir.
So why do you have to show the entire press con again?
Precisely, Your Honor, that's the point. We just want to establish whether sinabi ba to ng Vice Presidente at sinabi nila na yes, yan yung sinabi ng Vice Presidente. Yung point ho yun na may kinontrata siya, may kinausap siyang tao.
Kaya yun lang ang pinakita nyo, hindi nyo na pinakita yung buo because they were there.
Yes.
The entire
yes, sir.
time? Are you sure they were there the entire time?
They were there, sir.
Okay, thank you.
But you cannot have personal knowledge. They may have exited the Zoom meeting, correct?
Yeah.
You cannot say for
yung,
certain.
Yung nakita ko dun sa video, ang pinakahuling nag-exit, I think 3 yata yun, sir. Yeah. Pero most of the time, nandun ho yung mga media personalities, nagtanong po sila, nag-inquire po sila, at nag-participate po sila doon.
All right. At any rate, each participant was asked, and I quote, in paragraph 11 of the affidavit or the minutes, it says here, do you hear the statement of VP? Yes, wag ka mag-alala ma'am sa security ko kasi usap na ako, which ends in, and then he said yes, correct?
Yeah, base rito, yes. Sir.
Okay. So sa madaling salita, insofar as the interviews conducted by the NBI, wala nang tanong tungkol sa ibang statement ni VP Sara nung press con, tama?
Yeah, base dito sa document.
Alright, yan lang ang
ito yung
tinanong nyo,
tanong, sir.
tama? Yan lang statement na yan ang tinanong nyo.
Base sa document, sir.
Didn't you have enough time to ask about other statements made by VP Sara in order to establish context?
Your Honor,
No, yes or no? If you can, please.
Let the witness answer.
The presiding officer already directed a more responsive answer.
Your Honor, nung November 26 video,
No.
nakita ho namin na may admission na ginawa, ni-reiterate ng Vice
No,
Presidente.
that's not my question. My question
Let the
is,
witness
did you
answer,
have
Your
enough
Honor.
time to ask
That is his
about...
answer.
No. Attorney Lotok, the question was, did you show any other video or parts of the video other than this one?
Based on the document, sir, ito lang ho yung mga tinanong kung
Yan lang
ano
ang
yung
tinanong na
nandoon sa
part ng
document.
video. Walang ibang part ng video. Based on the document.
Based on the document, ito lang po, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right. In other words, the agents focus only on this one statement by VP Sara, correct?
Based on the interview,
And
sir.
the Q&A used a targeted question, correct?
Based on the document, sir, based on the interview, we asked them kung nandoon sila o nag-participate sila o kung narinig ba nila yung utterances na yun.
All right. The whole video was around 2 hours and 26 minutes. Now, if my math is correct, that is 60 minutes per hour. So 120 minutes plus 26 minutes. So a total of 146 minutes total, more or less. And are you telling this court that the portion shown was just about 1 minute?
Ask and answered, Your Honor, please.
Asked and answered,
The same
counsel.
topic many times over.
Counsel, I understand that you're trying to emphasize a point, but to manage the court's time, kindly move on to your next question.
So you think that by showing only a portion of the video, that portion was taken out of context?
Your Honor,
If you know.
we authenticated the whole video and we saw what happened on that online press conference, sir.
All right. By the way, did the interviewee sign the minutes of the meeting?
Insofar as the late Saidin Reyes,
No. If you know, I'll go through it one by one. But
I think may huli yata na walang pirma yung isa namin.
can we
investigator.
direct your? But you know, as a lawyer, that if a document is unsigned, that document will be treated as a mere scrap of paper. Correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So that is the standard operating procedure, correct? That you sign the document, correct?
I
Yes
don't
or
know
no?
kung
Yes
yung
or no?
tama yung ibinigay na docs. Ang signatory ho dyan, si Attorney Asuncion.
Yeah. In
Supposed
fact,
to be.
let us show that document for the benefit of this court.
Yan ho yung
Yeah, let me
kaapat na
direct your
docs.
attention to pages 203 to 207 of Annex G9. This pertains to the minutes of the meeting involving rubric of SMNI. Can we display first the first page? So the interviewer was Ria Vanessa Asuncion.
Yes, sir.
Hindi pa siya, ayan o. So hindi pa siya sure kung good morning or good afternoon.
And what's the relevance, Your Honor?
And she conducted the
Objection.
interview, correct?
It first saw that document, sir. Yes.
All right, but let's go on to the signature page now. So, in other words, Jason, there appears to be a signature above the name Jason Rubrico. All right. Can you Can you state for the record whether Attorney Ria Vanessa Diaz Asuncion signed this document?
In that document, no signature by Attorney Rhea Vanessa.
So wasn't this a failure to observe SOP on your part?
I think we have to ask Attorney Vanessa, baka meron siyang ibang document. na
But
hawak
again,
siya.
you're the supervisor of these minutes of the meeting, and you were the one who attached these documents to your affidavit of investigation. Anyway, I'll
Again,
move on to a
ang
new point.
nag-prepare ho ng mga docs na yan, I instructed them, the executive officers and the agent on case, to prepare those documents for Department of Justice.
My only
submission.
point is this, Mr. Lotok. We are talking here about filing a case against the Vice President of the Philippines, who is the second highest official of the land, and you used an unsigned document as part of your exhibits. Is that what you're trying to tell the court?
You can ask Attorney Rhea Vanessa Diaz Asuncion again, sir, kung meron siyang, kung ano nangyari dyan. So far as I am concerned, kompleto ho yung tatlo, 1, 2, 3. Ito ho yung pang-apat.
Alright.
Siguro kailangan kong tanungin si XO kung ano nangyari.
Alright, so let's go through the affidavits that were executed after the interviews. Okay, pahabol na ito lahat, tama? Kasi this was pursuant to the Feb 5 certification eh. So hinabol nyo to lahat, tama?
Hindi hinabol, kinumply ho namin yung requirement ng DOJ.
You want to use the term kinumply. Okay, sige. The interviews were in November to December 2024, but the affidavits were in February 10, 2025, correct?
Again, Your Honor,
Yung mga interview mismo, November to December 2024, kinandak. Pero yung mga affidavits attesting to those interviews, February of 2025 na in-execute, tama?
Based sa document, sir.
At any rate, this was made pursuant to the Feb 5 DOJ certification, correct?
Can I see the document, sir?
Okay.
First. Affidavit, yeah. 20.
Okay. So in short, hinanapan kayo ng DOJ ng affidavits. That's why you attach additional ones to the revised affidavit of investigation. Is that what happened?
Again, the affidavit was not revised. May mga attachment lang ho na ni-require yung Department of Justice, so kinumply ho namin. Tsaka sinabit ho namin.
Oh, even your own director referred to it as revised, di ba? So let's not make an issue about that.
Exactly.
I'm just asking if these were attached to the second judicial affidavit of investigation. So, in other words, the agent who executed these affidavits were John Mark Calilong, Geran, and Asuncion, correct?
Yes, sir.
And each agent executed their own affidavit, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, all were based on their personal knowledge, correct?
Again, sir, based on their personal knowledge.
Okay. So, nothing was supplied to any agent, correct?
I don't understand the question, sir.
So, nothing was supplied. Ibig sabihin, hindi binigay sa kahit anong agent yung isusulat niya doon sa affidavit. Independent nila ginawa lahat yan.
Yung affidavit ng mga
Correct.
agent?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Base doon sa
So,
kanilang
in other words, what you're telling this court is that these are bona fide affidavits and not template affidavits, correct?
Bona fide and not what, sir?
Template. Yung hindi pinirmahan lang basta.
Well, I think you can ask, sir, the one who signed the
So ganun na.
affidavit, sir.
But again, this is part of your these are attachments to your affidavit of investigation. So you should have checked these at least, correct?
Your Honor, sa practice ho namin, may mga templated na talaga kung common na yung question. Ginagawa ho talaga yon.
Okay.
Now, para ma-clarify ho kayo, pwede nyo hong tanungin yung
Thank you. So in other words, use template affidavits. Let me direct your attention to the affidavit of John Mark Calilong, pages 170 to 171, of the Articles of Impeachments G9. Allow me to read a portion of its paragraph. 5, it says there, no joke. Can we flash that on the screen? It says there, no joke, nagbili na ako. Yeah, sige. Can we focus on that part? Yan. So, here. Yan. So no joke, nagbilin na ako mama here on the bottom portion. Nagbiling na ako mama pag namatay ako. Alright? Do you confirm that there is a typographical error in the spelling of ma'am, which was incorrectly spelled as mama?
Your Honor, if with all due respect, Your Honor, please, what's the relevance of a typographical error from being
We will
mom
demonstrate
to
that, Your
mama?
Honor. I'm just laying the basis.
What's the relevance?
On
Typographical
a
error.
short leash, counsel, show the connection and relevance.
Can we confirm first, Your Honor, if he confirms that there's a typographical error on Kalilong's affidavit?
I think since the signatories here are Agent Kalilong and Attorney Vanang Luben, sila ho makakasagot.
All right. So he cannot confirm. So let me direct your attention to the affidavit of Geran, Agent Angeli Jean Geran, pages 178 to 179 of AOI's Annex G9. Again, let me read from paragraph 5 as well. It says here, can we zoom that portion? No joke, nagbiling na ako mama pag namatay ako. So do you confirm that there's also a typographical error in the spelling of the word ma'am, which
Yeah.
was also incorrectly spelled as mama?
You can ask the one who signed this affidavit, sir.
So you cannot confirm also?
You ask, you
All
can
right.
ask, Your Honor, the one who signed
One
the
last,
document.
pages 199 to 200 of Annex G9 as well. This is now the affidavit of Priya Asuncion. Can I go to paragraph 5 also? Oh, no joke, nagbili na ako mama. Can you also confirm that there's a typographical error in the spelling of ma'am, which was also incorrectly spelled as mama?
Again, you can ask the one who signed the
All right. So
affidavit,
in
sir.
other words, all three affidavits contain the exact typographical error of the word mama, same paragraph number, and do you still maintain that these affidavits were independently executed?
Mr. Presiding Officer.
Before I recognize Senator Judge Zubiri, counsel, I think inamin naman na ni Attorney Lotok na may mga templates sila. Kumbaga, may mga dekahon silang affidavits. Tama ba, Attorney Lotok?
Opo, Your Honor. Yes,
So,
Your Honor.
posibleng isa to sa mga dekahon yung affidavit? Is
Yeah.
that possible?
Yes, Your Honor. Kasi same lang ho yung utterances eh. Siguro yung pag-copy-paste dyan, kung ano yung unang na-copy-paste doon sa yung utterance, yun na ho yung...
Kaya, so, kasi parehong number 5, parehong mama. Di ba? Meaning, may point naman si Attorney, may point naman yung counsel for respondent. So, it's possible that isa to sa mga dekahon yung affidavit.
Yes, Your
Available
Honor.
lang. Attorney, Senator Judge Zubiri, what is your pleasure, sir?
Kung sa Bisaya pa, Your Honor, murag abogado. But yes, no, we appreciate the fastidiousness of the good counsel for the defendant on looking at all these particular issues. But due to the lateness of the hour, Your Honor, and I've been being egged by my colleagues here, we've been here for 6 hours, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. May we request maybe counsel for the defense or the body that we just adjourn tonight and continue tomorrow, because all these details, after a while, I'm sure these gentlemen and ladies, both for the counsel and for the prosecution, has not even eaten dinner, and many of them are probably tired from sitting, as I am tired from sitting for 6 hours. May we take that break, Your Honor, and just continue tomorrow at 2 p.m. For the continuance of the impeachment court, Your Honor. Thank you.
May I know how much longer is the cross of counsel for the respondent?
Before I answer that question, Your Honor, we just manifest that this is the first time that the Vice President through counsel is confronting the witnesses against her. Of course, she did not participate during the House Committee on Justice for the reasons that were already stated in our petition for certiorari.
Understood.
So, to answer that question, about halfway, Your Honor.
We're not cutting short your time to cross-examine counsel. We're just simply inquiring to find out if you can either simply wait for it to finish or continue tomorrow.
We're okay with either, Your Honor, but to also indulge Senator Judge Zubiri, we can have a continuance, Your Honor.
Okay, there being no objection on the part of the counsel for respondent, given that we're cutting for tonight his
Your Honor,
cross-examination.
one
Yes,
last administrative
Attorney
point, Your
Cole.
Honor. Considering the change in schedule because of the continuance, may we inquire of the prosecution if they still intend to
We will
present...
get to that, Counsel.
All right.
We will decide on
We
that
will
before
submit,
we
Your Honor.
adjourn. So for the meantime, court would like to excuse Attorney Lotok with the reminder that the subpoena for him to attend tomorrow's hearing still stands, and he will continue to testify under the same oath.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You are excused, Attorney Lotok. Thank you for your time and cooperation, and see you again tomorrow, sir. For some administrative matters, we are in receipt of the memorandum from the counsel for the respondents with respect to the issuance of subpoena for bank records and AMLC records as well as BAR records. Do we have a similar submission from the counsel for the prosecutors? Kindly furnish, clerk reports instructed to furnish all senator judges with a copy of the same, with a reminder that we will be hearing the oral arguments of the parties on these two matters on Wednesday after the presentation of the testimony of the witnesses of the counsel for the prosecution. What is the pleasure of the honorable defensor?
We have no other matters to discuss, Your Honor. We will await the final ruling of the court.
Chair would like to recognize at Senate President Gatchalian.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Pursuant to our discussion earlier on the subpoena for NBI Director Melvin Matibag, and pursuant to the discussion with Senator Judge Alan Cayetano and myself, and to give ample time to the Senator judges to study, to look at the pieces of evidence, as well as to propound their questions, may I propose to let him come to the Senate on Monday. I was looking at the letter from the NBI, and indeed the activity in Bangkok is quite important. It is the regional summit on scam center compounds and transnational organized crime, which will be held on Tuesday. We were also looking at the flights to Bangkok, and there are flights at night, Mr. Presiding Officer. So what we can do is to allow him to come here on Monday and then propound our questions. And if ever we don't finish it, we can request him to come back again after his activity in Bangkok.
With the understanding, of course, Senate President Gatchalian, that the testimony of the witness given in direct examination would be meaningless unless he is thoroughly cross-examined by the other party. So should we not finish his testimony on Monday, it shall be continued on the next trial date until the cross-examination, redirect, and if at all, recross shall have been finished by the parties. Subject to that understanding. Is there any objection to the motion of the Senate President to issue the subpoena for the attendance of Director Matibag on Monday, July 20 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? There being none, same is approved. Now, to clarify, the Honorable Defensor, may I ask, who is your witness for tomorrow? I understand we still have two witnesses online, namely Attorney Lopez and Captain Bello. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And you will be presenting Attorney Lopez first?
Based on our earlier manifestation, we're supposed to present her next after Lotok, Your Honor.
After the culmination of the cross, if at all, redirect and recross of Attorney Lotok.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Any other points that any other senator judge would like to raise? Any other points the parties would like to raise? Counsel for Respondent, given that the Honorable Defensor already said he has nothing further.
We are okay with that presentation, Your Honor.
There being no other matters to take up, and given the lateness of the hour and as manifested and moved by Senator Judge Zubiri, there being no objection, the trial is hereby adjourned until 2 p.m. of Tuesday, July 14, 2026.
See you Monday, class!
Rest day Monday!